in Dallas.
A lot of water, my foot. The Mavericks open their series tomorrow in Minnesota, and the Stars host Edmonton in Game 1 on Thursday. The Dow's up 23 points, NASDAQ up 15, the S&P 500 up by 6. Again, the high today around 90. It is 86 in Dallas and in Fort Worth. This news also brought to you by the Good Contractors List. I'm Eric Bushman. Your next news update is at 2:30. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected, DFW, to News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. WBAP salutes Haltom City. Haltom City, thank you for listening today to News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
This hour on WBAP is brought to you by the Wilhite Law Firm Injury Lawyers. Go to WilhiteWins.com.
That's WilhiteWins.com.
Hey there, all you beautiful Texans. Welcome to the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of the James Show. Yeah, a lot of water, my foot. Hi. Skeptical of that one, is he? Well, we have some significant movement today on what's been the top story for the last couple of weeks. That is Donald Trump's trial in New York. I did not expect to hear this, but it looks like the defense rests. Could that be? My first guest is going to clear some of this up for us. Gene Valentino on the James Show. Welcome to the James Show. And did I see that headline correctly? We are one step closer to this being over.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, the defense rests all right after about 20 days in this kangaroo court we've been watching. It rests, but I think they're working through the jury instructions now, and that'll be interesting as well. I heard your network news reporter just mention Mr. Costello. He says that this guy Cohen was suicidal and looking for some escape route. There's a whole pattern here that just doesn't. That's too far gone for any. The question is, because it's never been seen before, what is our system going to do to remedy this kind of bad behavior in court from occurring again in the future? When you run across a judge with such a huge ego and an insecurity who wants at all costs to see Donald Trump convicted, and these kinds of pro-prosecution judges, let's be frank, this isn't just a one-court concern. There's a pattern here, and it's across the country. And I'm concerned about the scales of justice being manipulated. In this case, with no evidence, substantial or direct, to any claim against Donald Trump. If it can happen to Donald Trump, it can happen to you and me. It's not if, it's when.
Let me echo that concern, because you can have a rogue judge here and there, but to have this same thing happening in 4 different jurisdictions, and you got 4 different courts doing this, I think that is my second biggest concern. My biggest concern, Gene, is still the fact that half of America is okay with this.
Well, half of America is only okay with what they know. Your point's well taken. I think that the information flow is as much the problem as the cognition of the people running the judgment. Half of the people seem to think that Donald Trump is guilty of stuff that he's never been even charged with. And meanwhile, you've got DAs and prosecutors running through the White House getting their marching orders on how to handle these cases. This is an all-out deep state assault, not only against their vitriol hate for Donald Trump, but against America as we've enjoyed it in our lifetime and in the last 250 years. There must be constitutional amendments brought into place. You can't wait now for another election. Oh, we'll get rid of this guy in the next election. We may not have a country by then, for crying out loud. We need a mechanism in place to terminate wrongful acts that are clear and compelling, like Judge Merchan and other DAs and prosecutors getting orders from president's office. He's out running around half coherent himself, Biden that is, pretending to be a tough guy on the campaign circuit and giggling about tying Trump up in court. Meanwhile, Trump's ratings are going up, even in the black community and other minorities, and so is his campaign war chest. I predict there will be a complete meltdown of the Democrat Party on or before November 2024. The people have awoken and they see the wrongdoing, and they're not going to stand for it.
Yeah, well, I'm interested in the idea you floated there of a constitutional amendment to remedy this. How would that even be worded? Because I know what the concept is. How do you stop this lawfare tactic that's risen up? But what would that law even look like?
Well, so glad you asked. If I may put a plug into www.genevalentino.com, the folks can go there and go to Gene's second Bill of Rights. We all know the first 10 amendments to the Constitution is the Bill of Rights. The second Bill of Rights I proposed have 11 amendments in there. And one of the 11 amendments is a Supreme Magistrate system that works under the Supreme Court and is accountable directly to the Supreme Court. They are elected. They are not appointed by anybody except the people of this nation, we the people. And those magistrates, the system, to explain it, gets longer, but the system calls out wrongdoing, not only of the elected official, but the appointees, the staff, aides, and subcommittees that are under such an elected official, and authorizes, if not a suspension, the immediate expulsion of such a wrongdoer. They can have their own legal remedy if they think the Supreme Magistrate has done wrong and have an appeal on that. But wrongdoing with clear and convincing evidence is an immediate action. In the case of Judge Juan Merchan here on Trump's case in New York, the application of the Supreme Magistrate would mean that, hey, Merchan, you've been contributing to Biden's campaign. You're conflicted. Case is dismissed.
So you would have like a court of courts or court.
I regret that because we have a system that's worked for 250 years. I'm not talking about a fourth leg of government, the administrative, legislative, and judicial we have now under our Constitution. I'm talking about a Supreme Magistrate, the cop you have for the special situations. They would fall directly under the Supreme Court and be accountable to only the Supreme Court. And that's what I think we need to distance political wrongdoing, the elected person, from having an ability to manipulate elections, manipulate voter counts, and manipulate and control the prosecution and arrest and prosecution of earnest candidates looking to run for office. Trump's in the limelight, but how about your neighborhood and mine? There's stuff going on the local level too that can be considered just as egregious.
All right, Gene Valentino, not only talking about problems, got solutions. Check out GeneValentino.com. He's got the podcast called the Grassroots Truthcast. And that second Bill of Rights, you might have to come back on and we can just have a segment or two about that, the 11 proposed amendments.
I welcome that anytime. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for your time. GeneValentino.com. What do you think about his proposals there for sort of the court of courts? 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. The defense rests. It's the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Here's what we're talking about.
I think this has done more good for the American people to understand just how bad it really is.
We'll continue to push to ensure that Ukraine owns its skies.
Target is cutting prices on about 5,000 of its most regularly purchased items.
Because he sees 11 million illegal immigrants as future Democrat voters.
Stay connected for updates all day.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Brought to you by Clarity Windows.
You can save 40% off every other window with Clarity Windows. With over 20 years in business and so many consumer awards under their belt, Clarity has earned the trust of thousands of happy homeowners. Call Clarity today or just go to ClarityWindows.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements. Changing the world one life at a time.
My name is Faye, and I'm 81 years old, and I love life. I started taking Balance of Nature 6 years ago. I think we've all had the experience of looking at supplements and not even understanding the ingredients. In Balance of Nature, you understand every ingredient. I would not go a day without my Balance of Nature.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order, plus $10 off any additional sets with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code Dallas.
The fight for justice never ends. In Texas, there's only one name you need to know. Thomas J. Henry Law. We're one of the biggest personal injury firms in Texas with the money to fight for you. We invest in expert witnesses, investigators, and cutting-edge technology because the best evidence wins cases. And you only pay if we win. No upfront fees, no hidden costs. We give back to the communities we serve, from school supplies for tens of thousands of kids to food for families and pets. Thomas J. Henry. Visit us online at tjhlaw.com. San Antonio.
I knew this would happen the minute Freeman Toyota announced 0% financing for 60 months on new 2024 Tundras. We'd be setting sales records. Hello, this is Dane Miner, General Manager of Freeman Toyota. And if you want a lower truck payment, now's the time. You can get a new 2024 big Crewmax Tundra truck for just $449 a month, and we'll pay all the money for your trade-in. Come see us today at Freeman Toyota, 183 and 820, or shop online at freemantoyota.com.
Call 866-227-6570 for details.
Get peace of mind with Dallas Plumbing and Air Conditioning, serving Dallas and Fort Worth for over 120 years. Our experts handle all your plumbing, heating, and air conditioning needs. Visit DallasPlumbing.com and book our whole home plumbing inspection for only $89 to ensure your home's plumbing stays safe and efficient. Call 469-599-7200 or visit DallasPlumbing.com. That's DallasPlumbing.com. License TACLB 50010E.
For nearly 30 years, conservative Republican Frederick Frazier served in Texas law enforcement. Frazier was named one of America's top cops. He was appointed to President Trump's Law Enforcement Commission, and he's been endorsed by Governor Abbott. Frazier is helping Abbott build the wall to stop the flow of illegal aliens and drugs from pouring across our border. Securing the border, keeping Texas families safe. Conservative Republican Frederick Frazier is tough on illegal immigration.
Political ad paid for by Texas Defense PAC.
Still dealing with a crash in Tarrant County on eastbound 183 at Euless, Maine. That's taking up the two left lanes. Give yourself about 5 to 10 extra minutes to get through. Back from FM 157 Industrial. And in South Dallas, we have a big construction slowdown. Southbound I-45 is about 30 to 45 minutes behind schedule because of two left lanes closed down at I-20. Expect to be stop and go from Simpson Stewart. And they've also closed down the exit ramp from I-20 westbound to southbound I-45. With WBAP First Traffic, I'm Colin Ellis.
Brought to you by the University of North Texas Health Science Center at Fort Worth.
Earn a degree from HSC Fort Worth and help change the future of healthcare. Become a student in one of our 6 academic schools and get the education you need for the career you want. Go to unthsc.edu/now to learn more.
This report is sponsored by Superstar Car Wash.
Unbelievable savings at Superstar Car Wash. Lock in unlimited car washes for just $10 a month with our Clean Plan. Available at any of our 18 DFW locations or online. Visit superstarcarwash.com for details. Terms and conditions apply.
News Talk 820 WBAP is now on FM
at 93.3.
Hey, welcome to the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. All right, today's 21st. Yesterday was the 20th. Yesterday was the birthday of someone you've heard of before. Michael Brown. Do you remember that name? I know it's not something we're all excited to talk about, but we have to now because Congresswoman Cori Bush, one of the squad, has come out and has a new bill, and she's named it after him. Is it a bill that's supposed to increase the penalties for strong arm robbing a convenience store or bull rushing a cop or trying to take a cop's gun? No, it's not about that at all. I'll let her tell you, and then we're going to have a chat about this.
Michael Brown should have turned 28 years old. The last birthday he celebrated and will ever get to celebrate was his 18th. Just 81 days after his 18th birthday.
How old are we? Michael Brown and the whole Ferguson riots, that was 10 years ago? Yeah, just about it was. Wow. Man, it feels like that was maybe 5 years ago or something. But everyone remembers his story, right? Do you remember the Michael Brown story? It was the guy in Ferguson, and he robbed the store, and so the cops that was in the area saw that he matched the description of the guy that robbed the store. So he rolled down his window and said, "Hey, come here," and the guy wouldn't. So he pulled his car in front of him, and so the guy punched him through the window, tried to grab his gun. And then when the cop got out of the car, he bull rushed him, so the cop shot him. The whole mythology around it was hands up, don't shoot. And it was such a big deal at the time that LeBron came out, and I think it was the playoffs or something, and he's wearing hands up, don't shoot on his shirt during warm-ups when they're just doing the shoot around. There was a whole set of riots in Ferguson that happened around this. And so now we're honoring him by naming a bill after him. Yeah, that's what's going on. Anyway, I'll let her continue. Hang on.
A Ferguson police officer killed him.
A Ferguson police officer justifiably killed him in self-defense. Just make it a little more clear.
In a just world, Mike Brown would be with his loved ones right now.
No, that's not what a jury found. Jury found it was a justified killing. You're lying, or maybe you know more than the jury did. Maybe
celebrating another year, dreaming of his future as he blows out the candles on his birthday cake.
He would still be here too if he didn't attack a cop. He'd still be here too if he didn't strong arm rob an immigrant store owner. He would still be here if he didn't initiate the use of violence against a police officer.
But instead, we are only left with the memories of who he was. Michael Brown's life was taken. It was taken from his mom, his dad, his friends, his siblings, his classmates, and from every person who knew and loved him.
It's awful. The guy had such a horrible home situation, but no, it wasn't taken from his mom. In fact, he wasn't even in the custody of his mom and dad when this happened. I believe he was living with his grandma and his aunt or something like that, because then his mom showed up after the fact and they got in a fight because they were selling Michael Brown shirts. The grandma and aunt were, and it was a whole thing. But no, you didn't break up a wonderful, loving family with this. This was a family in turmoil, and a kid that came from chaos that didn't learn any better, that you're not supposed to attack cops.
They were all left to live through the trauma police violence leaves in its wake. They were forced to go to school, to go to work, go get groceries, and live their lives after knowing someone they loved was killed. And they were forced to deal with the mental health effects of it on their own. Police killings of unarmed Black people are responsible for more than 50 million additional days of poor mental health days per year.
Hang on a second. Where did that stat come from? Have you ever even heard? I'm just rewinding. Have you ever even heard that stat before? It causes 50 million days of additional bad mental health a year. Who's measuring that?
A Ferguson police officer killed him. In a just world, Mike Brown would be with his loved ones right now.
No. Go to the days.
Go get groceries.
No, here it is.
Killings of unarmed Black people are responsible for more than 50 million additional days of poor mental health days per year.
Well, then stop reporting on it.
It's devastating our communities, and it must be addressed. That's why, in Mike Brown's honor, alongside Mike's mother, Leslie McSpadden, I am reintroducing the Helping Families Heal Act, also known as the Mike Brown Bill. This legislation will provide crucial mental health support for victims, families, and communities harmed by police violence. It would fund these resources and bolster counseling in our schools.
What does that have to do with Michael Brown?
It's been nearly 10 years since the Ferguson uprising. 10 years
Riots.
since our movement for justice birthed an affirmative vision of community safety that focuses on saving lives instead of destroying them.
Yeah, I think the air quote Ferguson uprising was destroying businesses and lives. That wasn't very positive. That wasn't it's not affirming when you throw a brick through the front window of Champs and go get some Air Force Ones. That is not affirming to your community. That is you exploiting the suffering of your neighbors to get some free shoes. It's disgusting. It's not something to be celebrated. But listen to the flowing verbiage about this.
Birthed an affirmative vision of community safety.
Safety. Yeah, safety. Yes, the riots that y'all caused. Super concerned about safety, those rioters. That was the mostly peaceful protest. That's where the guys in CNN were standing in front of the burning buildings. Going, well, yeah, other than all this destruction and burning buildings and dead bodies and people going to the hospital, overwhelmingly peaceful protest.
That's why, in addition to helping families heal, we're working to pass My People's Response Act, which would advance an evidence-based public health approach to safety and so many other life-saving policies.
No, maybe you need to come up with a program to teach people how to pay for their stuff at the gas station. Or maybe you need to come up with a program that if a cop asks you some questions, you don't punch him through the window. Can we have a lesson on that? Can we have a class on that? Can we have maybe some pop quizzes? Maybe my HR department can make me take 9 tests on how to not punch a cop after you commit a crime. No, that's not in this bill. This is about, spending on mental health. Because that's what Michael Brown needed. That's what would have prevented this.
Almost a decade has passed since we lost Mike Brown, but we're still on the front lines of the movement to save Black lives. And that's where we will remain until no more lives are taken by police violence and our children can celebrate each and every one of their birthdays.
All right, here's the ugly thing. There would never be a time when there's 0 deaths at the hands of police. That's one of the ugly things about law enforcement. Whenever you have to enforce the law, some people are not going to comply. Some people are going to play stupid games and win stupid prizes. Some people are going to get into car chases and die. Some people are going to get in a shootout with the cops. Sometimes the cops are going to use force that's necessary, and then accidents, medical accidents happen. There's no such thing. So you can just have grievance and come up with all these programs and declare this country as unfit and racist until what? People stop dying at the hands of cops? Well, that sounds like forever. This sounds like there's no solution to your problem. Your thoughts on the Michael Brown Help Families Heal bill? 800-288-9227, 800-288-9227. I'll give you more of my thoughts coming up next on The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Listen, I feel like things are off. You're just so extreme. I always thought of you as smart and reliable, but you're not. We've been so cold in the bedroom, and at the end of the day, you say one thing, but the feeling I get in our home is just completely different.
Honey, who are you talking to?
It's just our thermostat. I can never get it to match the temperature I set it at. I can't keep living this way.
I think it's time to call a professional, babe.
You set your thermostat at one temperature, but the actual temperature of your house takes forever to match it, or maybe never does? You don't have to live like that. This is a very common issue. It means your AC is never getting a break. Milestone's professional, licensed, background check technicians are equipped to easily diagnose and solve your AC problems. To solve your AC problems, go to callmilestone.com and mention WBAP for $200 off today.
We'll fix it in a flash.
Are you confident your portfolio is protected in today's inflationary environment? Risk management against inflation has never been more important. Join Bulwark Capital's Zach Abraham for a special inflation webinar Thursday, May 30th.
With the election looming, continued global unrest, rising cost of living, and this crazy market volatility, protecting retirement portfolios has never been more critical, and it's our #1 focus.
Don't just ride out inflation. Join Zach for his live webinar and learn how they actively manage every portfolio.
We do it with Bulwark's risk management strategy, always seeking opportunities to lower risk, lower cost, and give you as much upside as possible.
Don't miss Zach's special inflation live webinar Thursday, May 30th. Register now at knowyourriskradio.com. That's knowyourriskradio.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Trek Financial LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Investments involve risk and are not guaranteed. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results.
If you're suffering from burning, tingling, or numb feet, you need to pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Wayne Starren, D.C. What is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is actually damage to the nerves, most often in the feet, legs, and hands.
And what are the symptoms?
The major symptoms are numbness, tingling, burning, muscle cramps, coldness in hands and feet, and problems with balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It's absolutely treatable, and we can get some great results. Your nerve damage screening will tell you if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our innovative treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe that there is nothing that can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations.
Call 469-751-8262. The first 25 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Call 469-751-8262. That's 469-751-8262.
In politics, there's Lowe, and then there's David Lowe. Caught peddling illicit pornographic domains like findsome.com, http.com, and more too graphic to share. Seedy domains that can enable human trafficking. First, David Lowe lied about it. Then, Lowe actually compared his investments in the porn industry to buying real estate and defiantly said,
"Look, I own domain names. I was trying to make a quick buck."
Records show David Lowe bought pornographic domains over a 9-year period. Now, numerous law enforcement groups have condemned David Lowe, urging citizens to vote against him on May 28th, saying, quote, David Lowe profiting off the porn industry and the exploitation of women shows a disqualifying lack of judgment and moral compass. David Lowe, a new low in Texas politics. Learn more at davidlowfacts.com.
Political ad paid for by the Stephanie Click campaign.
May the road rise up to greet you. May the wind be always at your back. Heartwarming salutations indeed. Or what about, may you stay forever young? If only. Here's one. May is a fine time to buy a car at Don Davis Auto Group. That may be the best one yet.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP. And now on FM at 93.3.
Streaming live on our free mobile app.
A Cumulus Media Station. Trending now.
The latest on the cleanup after deadly severe weather in Texas. I'm Eric Bushman from the Novak Motors News Desk.
ClassicChevrolet.com. WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
We're dealing with a big issue in South Dallas right now. Southbound I-45 has 2 left lanes closed down for construction at I-20. That's causing close to an hour of delay. Traffic continues to stack up back around Simpson-Stewart Road. And they've also closed down the exit ramp to southbound I-45 from westbound I-20. That has you slowing down around Highway 310 Central. With WBAP, first traffic and weather on the ones, I'm Colin Ellis.
Why do so many Texans love Classic Chevrolet and Grapevine? We're the #1 Chevy dealership in the world. New Silverados, more than anyone. Malibus, Blazers, Equinox, gotta visit ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023.
The WBAP forecast, partly sunny this afternoon, a high around 90 degrees, heat index up to 97. It is 87 in Dallas, 86 in Fort Worth. Do have some storms that are moving through the area right now. We have a line of really just a little bit of rain with some pockets of heavier rain. Right now, centralized over northeastern Dallas, moving into Garland right now. This line did move through Denton and Tarrant counties earlier. That's now moving through Collin and Dallas County. Absolutely nothing strong or severe about it. Just a traditional thunderstorms with a little bit of rain. Again, 87 in Dallas, 86 in Fort Worth. Power outages and school closures are still widespread throughout Houston and southeast Texas following devastating severe weather last week. Senator John Cornyn says some of the cleanup includes repairing windows torn out of downtown Houston skyscrapers.
Homes, businesses, roads, and vehicles were damaged by the storms. And sadly, at least 8 Texans have lost their lives.
Cornyn says of the 1 million who lost power, there are still about 200,000 homes without power. Governor Greg Abbott has asked anyone with damage to report it so Texas can take advantage of federal disaster assistance. Your Money News lawmakers on Capitol Hill wrote a letter trying to get the education secretary to withdraw his department's proposed rule trying to cancel student loan debt. Here's Fox's Hillary Vaughn.
90 House members, 40 senators asking Education Secretary Miguel Cardona to withdraw a rule change that would hand out billions of dollars in a mass student loan payoff. writing, quote, in addition to the fiscally irresponsible nature of this backdoor attempt to enact free college, the administration continues to use borrowers as political pawns, knowing full well these proposed actions are illegal. The Supreme Court made it abundantly clear there is zero authority to write off federal student loans en masse. The lawmakers saying that Biden's rule change adds up to millions of borrowers and billions of taxpayer cash to do it.
The Biden administration says it has authority to forgive the debt and that it will be a massive financial relief for millions of Americans, including many who are just starting their careers. The Dow's up 60 points, NASDAQ up 27, the S&P 500 up by 12. Again, the high today around 90. It is 87 in Dallas, 86 in Fort Worth. I'm Eric Bushman. Your next news update is at 3 o'clock. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected, DFW, to News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
So we've got the Dallas Mavericks flying to Minnesota. Dallas Stars resting up one more day before they host Edmonton. And the Texas Rangers on the road in Philadelphia. Plus, CeeDee Lamb is still looking for a contract extension with the Dallas Cowboys. From our Mullen & Mullen Law Firm Sports Desk, I'm Steve Lamb. Mavericks head coach Jason Kidd said it's incredible for the city, with his team and the Stars both in the Western Conference playoffs in the NBA and the NHL. Mavs and the Timberwolves playing tomorrow night and Friday at the Target Center, then in Dallas Sunday and next Tuesday. While the Stars host the Oilers Thursday and Saturday at the AAC, before they go to Alberta next Monday and Wednesday. And the Rangers are at the National League East leading Philadelphia Phillies for 3 games, and then they're going to spend the weekend at the Minnesota Twins. And the Cowboys are holding organized team activities in Frisco. They're voluntary, and wide receiver CeeDee Lamb isn't voluntary. He's waiting for a contract extension from the Cowboys, wants to be paid as one of the top receivers in the game. Plus, you've got his teammates, Dak Prescott and Micah Parsons. They also want extensions. Front office has got some tough decisions to make going forward. That's your Tuesday afternoon sports update. I'm Steve Lamb.
Brought to you by Balance of Nature.
Balance of Nature. Get your daily recommended whole fruits and vegetables by calling 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and get free shipping and 35% off your first order by using discount code DALLAS. That's discount code DALLAS.
This report is sponsored by Robert Half. Robert Half research indicates 9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring. Robert Half is here to help. Their recruiting professionals use proprietary AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. At Robert Half, they know talent. Visit roberthalf.com today.
More traffic reports more often.
News Talk 820 WBAP. And now on FM at 93.3.
Hey, welcome back to the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Cori Bush has introduced a new bill in honor of Michael Brown. Not using Michael Brown as a cautionary tale, to honor him. And, you know, it took me a while to even let that sink in. Because I first saw this, she had a tweet and people were retweeting it and commenting on it. And the tweet was yesterday at lunchtime. It said, Michael Brown should be turning 28 today, but his life was taken by a Ferguson police officer. In Mike's honor and alongside his mother, Leslie McSpadden, I'm reintroducing the Helping Families Heal Act, also known as the Mike Brown Bill. Well, I just played you her comments that were in the video accompanying the tweet. And look, the video, it's eye-rolling stuff. They have a picture of Michael Brown at his graduation, so he's wearing the cap and gown as if, you know, the best description of his life is he's an austere scholar. But, you know, it's I mean, he's gone. So in order to keep this whole thing going, keep this narrative going, let's keep naming bills after him. This was a good situation for the left. They got a lot of people riled up. They got a lot of people excited. They got a lot of people divided. They got a lot of people skeptical of what you and I are saying based solely on the color of our skin. And they got a lot of political activists out of it. This was a good thing for them. Mike Brown dying like this and creating this controversy, they took great advantage of that. But look, Mike Brown, maybe he should be turning 28 today. But in his honor, shouldn't we be, I don't know, maybe teaching kids to not do the things that he did? Because he committed strong-arm robbery. He didn't comply with the cop's orders. He reached for a cop's gun. He charged the cop. And then and only then did the cop in self-defense put him down.
But I mean, even if he had complied, don't you think there's probably a pretty good chance that he would be celebrating his birthday from a prison cell or something comparable? I doubt he would be at the International Space Station doing a second moonwalk or spacewalk. But Miss Parker actually asked, so what does the bill even do?
Hi, Miss Parker.
It allocates money for mental health. Kind of vague, isn't it? For after school programs, I suppose, for mental health counselors, at the federal level to be sent to these events, I suppose. None of which would have saved Michael Brown's life. It's not like, oh, well, he would have been fine if he just had some more after school counselors after he had already graduated high school and strong-arm robbed a convenience store and attacked a cop. These things don't overlap. The Venn diagram on what the solutions are with what the problem is, that there's no overlap at all there. And look, I know what you're thinking. I know, because I'm thinking it too. And really 80% of the country, whenever they hear a story like this, thinks the same thing. Maybe he should have just complied. Maybe we shouldn't honor criminals that lost their lives in the course of committing a violent crime, even if this is a good bill. Isn't there someone else you can name this after? So let me see if we have this right. She's celebrating a criminal who found out the hard way it's a bad idea to reach for a cop's gun after you just robbed a store. Well, the whole Michael Brown saga is one lie stacked on top of another, because the slogan that came out of this was "Hands up, don't shoot." That didn't happen. The ugly part is there were something to the order 14, 15 witnesses that at the scene told the cops taking notes at the crime scene that they heard him say, "Hands up, don't shoot." They saw him on his knees. None of them were willing to say that in court. Most of them didn't even get called up in court because most of them didn't even witness it. They were just saying what they thought they needed to say in order for the white cop to get justice over the lie that they were told. And then it just metastasized on itself. And I know you're thinking of all kinds of other contexts, especially with what's been happening lately in the news. Like, let me get this straight. Harrison Butker is evil for telling women that your family should be your first priority. Your children should be your first priority. He's evil. Michael Brown, hero. Is that, do we have that right? Because, yeah, I'm sure he was on his way to becoming an astronaut. But I look back at so many of these and ask, how is this even a racial issue? Same thing with George Floyd. How is this even a racial issue? Trayvon Martin, how is that a racial issue? Eric Gardner, Freddie Gray. No one brought up any ethnic slurs at any point in any of these incidences, including this one. Did anyone use an ethnic slur? Did the store owner that got robbed use an ethnic slur? Did the cop, Jason, whatever his name was, did he use an ethnic slur? Did the 911 dispatcher, did the police dispatch, did anyone at any point show any racial reference or racial animus at all? No, just because the guy that got shot is black and the guy that shot him's white. This is all we need. We can make racial hay out of this. Because the only reason he celebrated, the only reason you still know about this story, and the only reason they blew it up to the point of riots is because he was a useful tool in driving us apart. We now know that because Robert Fortson, the guy that was shot, the airman, the guy that's in the Air Force that was shot by the cop in Florida, was it this month? It was just a couple weeks ago. They're not all upset about that because everyone's not divided on that. Anyone who sees that, or 90% of people who see that, be like, yeah, the cop's in the wrong. He was murdered. That guy should go to jail, and Robert Fortson should be a hero. Well, Robert Fortson should have this bill named after him, not Michael Brown. Robert Fortson wasn't a criminal. Robert Fortson didn't rob anybody. He didn't charge a cop. He didn't go for a cop's gun. He actually served his country in the Air Force. His death is actually an injustice we would all agree on. But it's not about agreeing on injustices. It's not about even finding justice. It's about stoking animus for your political opponents. And, I mean, what does the bill do? I mean, that was the question Ms. Parker asked. I don't know, mental health. It's not to teach kids to not assault a cop. It's not to teach kids to not rob a store. Michael Brown's story should be an example of what not to do. Don't be like Mike. Don't honor this guy. And if you have a political apparatchik that is saying, hey, Michael Brown is something to be celebrated, you need to be very skeptical of that person, because he's not just some choir boy who got shot by a cop, just some racist, bloodthirsty, murderous cop who, even though Michael Brown was on his knees and had his hands up, he was just executed like a dog. Why? Because white people are evil and America's evil, and you got to vote Democrat and we'll save you from that. How about the Keep Your Hands to Yourself Act? That would have been a better name for it, too. 800-288-WBAP. 800-288-9227. This is The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Get the WBAP app to listen to WBAP free on your mobile phone. Open the App Store icon on your phone's home screen. Search WBAP. Click the download arrow, then open. You'll be asked a couple of questions. Click Allow to receive WBAP breaking news, traffic, and weather text alerts. Click the play button at the lower right and enjoy News Talk 820, WBAP, and 93.3 FM free. Did you know you could lose up to 25% efficiency by having leaky windows in your home? It's really true. Hi, it's Ernie. This is a great time to replace those leaky and inefficient windows or replace that old shower or tub you've been putting off. Why? Well, because this month, Statewide is looking for 30 homeowners to receive free installation on a house full of windows or on a new bath and shower with no interest and no payments until 2026. Now, if that's not enough, you can receive up to a $1,200 tax credit by putting their energy-efficient windows in your home. Plus, the pros at Statewide are recognized as a top bathroom remodeler. From beautiful wall surround options to sleek shower enclosures and walk-in tubs, they have you covered. It's why they're recognized as one of the top bathroom remodelers. So, no interest and no payments until 2026, free installation. All you have to do is call now, 214-214-6000. That's 214-214-6000, or go online to statewideremodeling.com.
At Lifestyles Unlimited, we teach you the roadmap to retiring in 5 years or less through real estate investing, and you experience the reward of best product, best price, best people, and the difference it makes in your life and the life of others.
Whenever you have, residents coming in and thanking you for, taking what was dull and drab and turning it around and making their life better, it's definitely a blessing.
Become a life changer today. Join Lifestyles Unlimited today with this introductory offer. 2 years for $297. The Lifestyles Unlimited Financial Freedom Program. Go to GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Enter code 2024. Join and learn with Lifestyles Unlimited at GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Code 2024.
I'm Representative Tony Tinderholt. I'm a retired combat veteran and one of Stephanie Click's most conservative colleagues in the Texas House. Last session, we worked to protect Texas children from transgender ideology. Unfortunately, Click voted with the Democrats. We were unable to stop the psychological transition of Texas children. Click voted to give taxpayer money to healthcare providers who are psychologically transitioning children with radical transgender ideology. In the Republican runoff, vote no to Stephanie Click.
Political ad paid for by Texans United for a conservative majority PAC.
We're here at Genesis of Plano, part of Huffines Auto Family, for their 100th year of serving DFW and asking customers to sing the jingle.
Huffines has it.
So what was the it for you?
They just made my first purchase so seamless and smooth and really unforgettable.
And when you visit Genesis of Plano, get huge savings on new GV70s, GV80s, and our limited time manager specials. Shop online at genesisofplano.com. Let's cue the jingle.
We have a new crash in Fort Worth on I-20 westbound at Campus. It's blocking the left lane. This just happened, but you already have about a 3 to 5 minute delay built up for now. Dallas, there's a new crash in the express lanes of northbound I-35E. Just as you're getting to the 635 interchange, expect to see extra brake lights as you approach. And still dealing with that construction delay in South Dallas. Southbound I-45 is behind about 45 minutes. They've closed down 2 left lanes at I-20. You're stop and go from Simpson Stewart Road. With WBAP First Traffic, I'm Colin Ellis.
Brought to you by Retirement Planners of America.
In today's market, we think there are a lot of financial risks for anyone who's over 50. Retired or retiring soon? Call Retirement Planners of America now for a free, no-obligation consultation. 469-331-2426. That's 469-331-2426.
From the Airco AC Heating and Plumbing Studio, this is News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3.
Hey there, welcome to the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Do you feel rich? Do you feel financially successful? Well, a new report shows 89% of Americans do not consider themselves to be financially successful. And I think some of you are just being too hard on yourself. To help explain where this came from, Sarah Foster from Bankrate, who did the survey, is on the James Show. 89% of Americans feel like they are not financially successful. 27% think they will never be. I did not know we were that pessimistic, Sarah.
I think I was especially troubled by that too, especially considering how most Americans don't really seem to be reaching for the stars when they're defining financial success. Actually, more than half of them say they just want to be living comfortably. About 2 in 5 say they never want to worry about money. They want to be financially prepared for the future. And another 41% say that they want to just live debt-free.
Yeah, I think the tough part of this survey, though, is it's a very subjective term, financially successful, because financially successful to some people means you can crash Lamborghinis on I-75 when you get bored. Financially successful for some other people, myself, would be like, can I just go to the grocery store and not worry about what things cost? I think that's where my mark would be. But what does that even mean to most people, financially successful, Sarah?
Yeah, and you're right. So I think the reason how we know kind of how this is Americans are defining financial success is because we gave them a list of options and we asked them to only select up to 3. And so those responses that we were talking about earlier, living comfortably, being financially prepared for the future, debt-free, those were selected to a greater degree than owning your own business, being a millionaire, having enough money to quit working. So I think, that subjective aspect of financial success, it seems to be that most Americans really are just prioritizing comfort and, like you said, being able to pay for their everyday expenses and feel like they have money left over to put into their savings.
So, Sarah, does Bankrate divvy this up by age group? Like, are older people, are they more content with their finances?
Yeah, so we asked over 2,000 Americans, and we pulled them on all of these responses. Generations-wise, we really didn't see that big of a difference. It's interesting because Gen Z, millennials, baby boomers, Gen Xers, all of them mentioned that living comfortably was the number one sign of financial success. The other kinds of second and third spots were really going back and forth between not worrying about money, not being in debt, being prepared for the future. The only one who was maybe a little bit different was Gen Z. Their third most common selection was actually owning their own home as a sign of financial success.
Yeah.
So I think that's really the main difference that you could see between all the generations.
Well, and then on some of this, I like to think of the flip side. If 27% of people think they will never be financially successful, that means about 70% of us are at least optimistic about our future selves.
Yeah, and what's interesting, too, is that younger generations, they're actually the most optimistic of anyone. I think that there's often this stereotype, I think, about younger people today feeling financially apathetic. But that doesn't seem to be the case. I mean, Gen Z, most of them think they'll be able to achieve their version of success by their 30s. And again, that's an age group between, early 20s right now. Millennials who are kind of coming up on their 30s on the youngest age range, and some of them now in their 40s, are mostly hopeful that they'll achieve success by their 40s. Gen Xers, however, are kind of seeing that coming to fruition maybe in their 60s. Baby boomers are also saying between their 60s or even their 70s.
So do we see these numbers moving a whole lot? Like when there was the quick depression or recession that we had because of COVID, do we see these numbers drop, or do we not keep a rolling count of this?
Yeah, so this is our first iteration of our survey, so we don't really have historical data, but I am fascinated with this idea that perhaps the coronavirus pandemic has interrupted Americans' ideas of financial success, just in the sense of how maybe being comfortable does feel akin to reaching for the stars, or it might be as hard as it is just to be rich.
Well, if y'all keep doing this in the future, it would be interesting to see if it moves off this baseline very much.
I think so too.
All right, Sarah Foster, Bankrate, thank you very much for joining the James Show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and don't be so pessimistic, people. There's still plenty of time left, unless you're like 98 and already in hospice and they're just giving you medicine to keep you comfortable until you die of natural causes. You can still turn things around. There's all kinds of great stories. Just get up and do it. All right, we're about to step aside for a news break, but this is the part where I'm going to remind you about the parts of the James Show that you miss. I know you don't get to sit here for all 3 hours. That's all right. You have a life, but you can come check out some of the parts that you miss on the podcast. The reason why I need you to go do that is because if I'm going to take the time to edit these things down and put them up on the website /app, someone needs to go listen to them. And so it's starting to catch on, though. I think some of you are learning that the app is more popular than WBAP.com, which tells me you're listening on your phone. So go check that out, the James Show podcast. And there's podcasts for the other shows, Casey, Croc, the WBAP morning show. So go make that part of your regular rotation. And if you don't have the WBAP app, let me put on the guilt trip pretty thick. And like, man, you should already have that. All right, coming up next, we're going to talk about this op-ed. Professor from George Mason said Joe Biden needs to step down to save America from Donald Trump. We'll talk about that next on The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Would you scam someone to give your campaign donor $1 million discount?
Nope.
Looks like Liberal Justin Holland did. Would you block Governor Abbott's school choice plan for families?
Nope.
Liberal Justin Holland did. Would you vote with liberals against conservatives more than 200 times?
Nope.
So what are you going to say when Justin Holland asks for your vote?
Just say nope.
AFC Victory Fund is responsible for the content of this political advertising, paid for by AFC Victory Fund, and not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.afcvf.com.
Governor Abbott is fighting for Texas, but he needs reinforcements.
Stephanie Click is the strong conservative partner I need to secure the border, cut your property taxes, and pass school choice. Stephanie Click is the only candidate in this race I trust to get that job done.
Vote conservative champion Stephanie Click.
AFC Victory Fund is responsible for the content of this political advertising, paid for by AFC Victory Fund, and not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.afcvf.com.
Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Nature is quite the artist, wouldn't you agree? The pigments that nature uses to paint its fruits and vegetables aren't there just for visual appeal. Those colorings are also essential to our nutrition. Hi, my name is Vincent Clemens, and I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist. I found that the vast majority of my clients rarely got enough servings of fruits and vegetables. Balance of Nature dietary supplements can provide more of the concentrated fruit and vegetable ingredients and these pigments. Please remember that consuming a balanced diet should be your first priority in improving your health. Nonetheless, if you're considering a nutritional supplement, then I highly recommend Balance of Nature.
Go to balanceofnature.com and get 35% off plus $10 off any additional sets as a preferred customer by using discount code Dallas.
It's Chris Crock for IRSprob.com. They help people with IRS problems. Mike and IRSprob.com client was having a tough time with the IRS. Mike, what was your absolute biggest problem prior to meeting with IRSprob.com?
My wife and I, we were drowning tax debt. I had just lost my business. We were getting notice after notice.
When did you know that Randy was going to solve your problem?
It was after a single brief conversation. Randy and his team, they made us feel comfortable. He knew what he was talking about. More than anything, we knew that he cared and he actually wanted to help us.
What changed after working with Randy at IRSprob.com?
We got our lives back. Felt like we were able to breathe again.
What would you say to somebody who's on the fence about working with Randy and the guys at IRSprob.com?
Don't hesitate. Don't wait. Don't live with the anxiety. I promise you, it's well worth it. You have nothing to lose.
Give IRSprob.com a call today at 214-214-8214. That's 214-214-8214. Check out their 5-star review on Google and the Better Business Bureau at IRSprob.com. You're more than just a number. Professional services provided by Randall W. Martin, CPA, LLC. Tell them Chris Crock sent you.
It's official. Frederick Frazier just defeated his opponent's political witch hunt in court. A judge just dismissed the case brought by Frazier's desperate opponents. Like Trump, they couldn't beat Frazier at the ballot box, so they tried it through the courts, and they failed. But we need your vote in the May 28th runoff election to finish the job. Frazier is a conservative Trump appointee endorsed by Governor Abbott because he prioritized border security, moved to finish the border wall, cut property taxes, banned the woke agenda, and stood strong for law enforcement. Democrat. Frazier's in a fight against Carissa Richardson, a fake Republican, funded by a Beto O'Rourke mega donor and a disgraced Nazi sympathizer organization. Carissa is doing their bidding, pushing a radical tax plan that more than doubles your sales taxes and effectively defunds local police. Carissa's even falsely claiming Frazier was dishonorably discharged. A complete lie. Vote conservative Frederick Frazier in the May 28th runoff election to set things right.
Political ad paid for by the Frederick Frazier Campaign.
Are you confident your portfolio is protected in today's inflationary environment? Risk management against inflation has never been more important. Join Bulwark Capital's Zach Abraham for a special inflation webinar Thursday, May 30th.
With the election looming, continued global unrest, rising cost of living, and this crazy market volatility, protecting retirement portfolios has never been more critical, and it's our #1 focus.
Don't just ride out inflation. Join Zach for his live webinar and learn how they actively manage every portfolio.
We do it with Bulwark's risk management strategy, always seeking opportunities to lower risk, lower cost, and give you as much upside as possible.
Don't miss Zach's special inflation live webinar Thursday, May 30th. Register now at knowyourriskradio.com. That's knowyourriskradio.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Trek Financial LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Investments involve risk and are not guaranteed. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP AM, Fort Worth, Dallas. 93.3 WBAP FM, Haltom City, Dallas. And 99.5 KPLX FM HD2, Fort Worth, Dallas.
Streaming live on our free mobile app.
A Cumulus media station.
Trending now.
Working out jury instructions in the New York Trump trial, I'm Eric Bushman from the Novak Motors News Desk.
ClassicChevrolet.com, WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
We have a new crash in downtown Dallas, 30 eastbound, just before you get to 75. 2 left lanes are blocked off. That's adding at least an extra 30 to 45 minutes back from Sylvan Avenue. Still dealing with that construction. Southbound I-45 has 2 left lanes closed down at I-20. That's about a 45-minute jam from Simpson Stewart. They've also closed down the exit ramp from 20 westbound to southbound 45. And in Fort Worth, we still have a wreck 20 westbound at Campus. That's blocking 1 left lane, causing a jam back from Hartman Road. With WBAP, first traffic and weather on the ones, I'm Colin Ellis.
Why do so many Texans love Classic Chevrolet and Grapevine? We're the #1 Chevy dealership in the world. New Silverados, more than anyone. Malibus, Blazers, Equinox. Gotta visit ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023.
Lots of heat and humidity the rest of the week and towards the weekend. Might be a few strong to severe storms Wednesday afternoon and Thursday afternoon as well. So stay weather aware. A few isolated storms the rest of the day. Highs 91. Heat indices approach 100. Mid-70s tonight. Some storms through the evening. They'll be isolated though. Better chance of storms Wednesday afternoon. Some could be severe. Highs near 90. Heat indices in the upper 90s. This weather report sponsored by Navage. Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you. For WBAP News, I'm meteorologist Mark Thibodeau at the Weather Channel.
87 degrees in Dallas, 86 in Fort Worth. This news brought to you by the Wilhite Law Firm. Former President Donald Trump spending another day in a New York courtroom in connection to his criminal case. Fox's Lydia Hu has the latest.
The attorneys for both the prosecutor's office and the defense submitted their proposed jury instructions to Justice Juan Merchan. That's essentially what each side wants to have the judge tell the jury how to proceed with this case when they're evaluating the facts before them. They offered a red line version, essentially outlining where they agree and where they disagree. And what the judge is doing is going line by line on where the sides are in disagreement, weighing their arguments and issuing decisions in some cases, and in other cases saying he's going to reserve judgment.
The 2024 hopeful continues to call the case a witch hunt and election interference. The Mavs and Stars have made Texas sports history.
The Dallas Stars and Dallas Mavericks have never been in their respective conference championship during the same season, until now. For the 7th time in their history, the Dallas Stars are playing in the NHL's Western Conference Final and face the Edmonton Oilers. The Dallas Mavericks have now landed in the NBA's Western Conference Final for a 6th time and visit the Minnesota Timberwolves. Game 1 for the Mavs tips off at 7:30 tomorrow night on TNT, while the Stars host the Oilers on Thursday at 7:30 p.m. also on TNT. Mike Traina, WBAP News.
Your money news. President Joe Biden traveled to New Hampshire today, touting his work with the PACT Act, funding for veterans exposed to harmful chemicals and burn pits while in active duty. He says that VA health care has been expanded.
Today, toxic exposed veterans who served during any conflict, not just the war in Iraq and Afghanistan, can enroll.
The president saying 1 million claims have been granted through the PACT Act, paying out a total of over $5.7 billion. The Dow closed up 75 points, NASDAQ up 39, the S&P 500 up by 14. Again, the high today around 90. It is 87 in Dallas, 86 in Fort Worth. This news also brought to you by Reliant Air Conditioning. I'm Eric Bushman. Your next news update is at 3:30. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected, DFW, to News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. WBAP salutes Copper Canyon. Copper Canyon, thank you for listening today to News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
This hour on WBAP is brought to you by the Wilhite Law Firm Injury Lawyers. Go to WilhiteWins.com.
That's WilhiteWins.com.
Hey there, welcome. It's the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Let's go. Did I see? I mean, I did. I'm just coyly relaying that I saw online. There's rumors that, Trump was here over the weekend in the DFW area for the NRA conference, and someone said they saw Trump playing golf, and in his foursome was Tony Romo? Tony Romo? Whoa. Are they friends? I didn't know that. Is he just a supporter? Look, here's the cool part about being Tony Romo. Well, we're used to our lives, and our lives stink, okay? At least mine does. Maybe Donald Trump is a huge fan of Tony Romo and wanted to play with him. Maybe, oh man, wild stuff. Wild stuff. What a great time to be alive. All right. Hey, speaking of Donald Trump and all that entails, something else going through social media that's hot right now is an article that comes from a George Mason University associate professor. Who gives a rip what an associate professor at George Mason University has to say? Well, it's not necessarily anything special about the professor. His name's Jeremy Mayer. It's just the idea that President Biden should step down because he's losing to Donald Trump. And if you really think Donald Trump is Hitler and you want to save America and this is the only way to do it, a lot of people are starting to say that Biden's not the guy. Kenan Spivak is here from the Claremont Institute. And this has been an idea that's thrown around, behind closed doors for a long time, but now it's kind of being spoken out in the open. Do you really think there's a chance that Joe Biden could step down and not run in November?
No, I don't. Joe Biden, 36 years ago, for the first time ran for president. All he's ever wanted in life is to be president. I don't see him letting anything get between him and another term as president except losing.
Well, the idea that there's some puppet master behind the strings, just pulling, he's a marionette puppet, that puppet master would still want to stay in power too. So even if it's not Joe Biden's decision, I still think it's a really big long shot, especially this late in the game, that he would want to step down. Then why is this article, why is this essay so popular?
And it's not just this essay. David Ignatius of the New York Times and other much more prominent political analysts have lately been suggesting that Joe step aside. And I do think a lot of them are taking their marching orders from our former President Obama. At some point, Joe Biden, I think, digs in. And I think we're going to see that happen. And he has some arguments for doing that, although all the polls show that Donald Trump is doing far better among women, suburban women, blacks, Hispanics than he did 4 years ago. Over the last 4 or 5 months, his advantage has been contracting. And Joe Biden, who doesn't believe polls when they're not favorable to Joe Biden, does have some measure of hope in the narrowing advantage that Trump has had in the last few months.
Well, the discussion invariably devolves into, if he does step down, who would give him a better shot? Maybe Joe Biden isn't doing so great in the polls right now, but it could go worse.
You know, there were a series of polls about 2 months ago. Biden, Kamala Harris, Newsom, Whitmer, and Biden did the best against Trump. He still lost, but he did the best. I read the same articles. I really don't want Joe Biden there as president. I think he's done an abysmal job. But if he were to step down, for the Democrats to select anyone other than Kamala Harris would lead to an insurrection. The Democrats are the party of DEI, of diversity, equity, and inclusion, race, sex, sexual identity. Kamala Harris is the first female vice president, black vice president. I don't see them being able to pick someone other than Kamala Harris, and I don't see Kamala Harris being able to win. I think the Democrats are in a bind, and I'm not saying that Trump is a slam dunk winner here, but I just think it is very unlikely that Joe Biden steps down.
Do you think that this decision is ultimately hinging on that first debate that's supposed to happen June 27th? Because I think that a lot of people are suspicious that if he does bad there, then the cries will be so loud he'll have to step down.
I think you make a good point, and I think there's two ways he could do badly there. One is he could so stumble over words. He could be, if you will, on the bad side of his cognitive decline to such a degree that it's clear he can't be president. Or he could have a normally bad debate performance, not particularly because of cognitive decline, but because, quite frankly, he's been a terrible president. If it's the second, I don't think he's going anywhere. If it's the first, you're going to hear a lot more calls for him to step down.
Oh, man, if it's the first, that is going to be this will be the wildest presidential election cycle we've ever seen if this guy has to step down.
You should look at the speeches he's given in just the last week. He's been on this, I was going to say crusade, that's probably not a fair word, but he's been on this effort to appeal to blacks where he's lost a lot of support. And so many of these speeches, he barely was able to communicate in the English language. The White House had to just put out a whole rafter of corrections for things that he said in these speeches, and he was reading from a teleprompter. Look, we're in a very sorry state here. We have a president who's done a terrible job, and he's really just past his due date.
Fair enough. Kevin Spivak from the Claremont Institute, thanks for being on the James Show. I really love that conversation, though. Is he going to step down?
Thanks for having me.
Because that is going to continue until maybe 2 or 3 months before the election, because I don't think our Democrat neighbors think that they're at the point of no return. I think a lot of them think that, okay, if we could have a better alternative, let's take this guy down. In fact, I don't know anybody who's running around in a Biden shirt. I don't see any Build Back Better hats. I don't even see a lot of Biden signs or flags. I do see some. I just, compared to what Obama, how popular Obama was, and then Trump, his super popularity, that just doesn't bode well for the guy. 800-288-WBAP. Do you think he's going to step down? 800-288-9227. And the question that no one has the answer to is, who would replace him? 800-288-WBAP. This is the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Here's what we're talking about.
I think this has done more good for the American people to understand just how bad it really is.
We'll continue to push to ensure that Ukraine owns its skies.
Target is cutting prices on about 5,000 of its most regularly purchased items.
Because he sees 11 million illegal immigrants as future Democrat voters.
Stay connected for updates all day.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
When Donald Trump ran against Hillary Clinton, John O'Shea didn't vote for Donald Trump. O'Shea didn't vote for Greg Abbott either, or Dan Patrick, or Ted Cruz, or Ken Paxton. Voting records prove that over a 20-year period, John O'Shea failed to vote in 35 crucial elections.
Because John O'Shea is not a conservative. He admits it in his own words.
Right now, I say I'm not a conservative.
I didn't vote in primaries. When Trump needed him most, O'Shea didn't vote. Craig Goldman is the true conservative in the race. Goldman passed the toughest border laws in the country, passed the biggest property tax cut in Texas history. Craig Goldman is endorsed by Governor Abbott, Lieutenant Governor Patrick, and the NRA. Early voting runs May 20th through the 24th. Election Day, May 28th.
I'm Craig Goldman, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Craig Goldman for Congress.
Can you spot the difference?
Don't get burned, get a firehouse roof.
And then...
Don't get burned, get a firehouse roof.
I'm sure you could spot the difference, but it's not always that easy to spot the difference when choosing a roofing company. Firehouse has been serving DFW for over 26 years and is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. If you have a damaged or leaking roof, call Firehouse today.
Don't get burned, get a firehouse roof.
They tried to use new gift cards, but the balance was zero.
I said, there's a problem. This thing has been drained on those.
NBC5 Responds finds out why this is happening and what you need to know to protect your next purchase. Tonight at 10 on NBC5 News. NBC5 is now streaming live on Peacock.
We have breaking news tonight in Dallas.
We are pushing for information.
Get your local news and weather, plus your favorite NBC shows. From today to The Tonight Show live.
It's kind of huge news.
Streaming now on Peacock.
Up to a 30% upfront bonus and 12% per year guaranteed growth for retirement. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and these are the highest guarantees with annuities I have seen in my life. When interest rates are this high, there are silver linings, and annuity guarantees are one of them. Up to a 30% bonus upfront for retirement income. On $100,000, that's up to $42,000 guaranteed in the first year. And it's because of the economy and its high interest rates. Don't let anyone, especially another financial advisor, tell you it's not true. Up to 30% upfront just for opening an account and up to 12% per year guaranteed income growth. Don't miss out. This won't last forever. If you have an old 401k, get up to 30% upfront and 12% guaranteed growth for income today. Call 469-579-3500. 469-579-3500.
Guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.
Still dealing with a crash in Dallas on northbound 35E at 635. They've now blocked off the right main lane. Your stop and go back from Royal. Give yourself about 7 to 10 extra minutes to get through. Had a crash clear up in downtown Dallas, 30 eastbound at 75. Still have about a half-hour delay on winding all the way back from Sylvan. And we still have that construction southbound I-45 at I-20 closing down 2 left lanes. That delay pushing close to an extra hour back from Simpson-Stewart. With WBAP First Traffic, I'm Colin Ellis.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
Brought to you by the law offices of Thomas J. Henry.
According to NHTSA, a new car crash is reported every 56 seconds in Texas. Thomas J. Henry handles serious auto accident cases and gets serious results for injured clients. To learn more or start your claim today, visit tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
All opinions matter.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Hey, welcome to the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Bro, go ahead and start shuffling through the glove box for that nasty pack of Kleenex you have there, because this is the saddest story you're going to hear all day, probably all week, probably all month. So last Thursday, there's a high school up in Carroll. What's it called? Early College High School. And at the graduation ceremony, just like my high school out in Bug Tussle and your high school wherever you went, the valedictorian gets to give a speech. And so when he walked up on the speech, the valedictorian had a secret. He hadn't told any of his classmates. They had no idea what he'd been going through. Back in January, he found out his dad had cancer. And it's not like he's got some funny melanoma spot on his skin. It's It's pancreatic cancer. It's the bad kind. It's the kind that took Patrick Swayze and Steve Jobs and all that. And it wasn't looking good for Dad. And he was just wanting Dad to hold on so he could see his son graduate. Because he didn't know at the time that he was going to be valedictorian, but he was in the race for it. And when the rankings were finally announced, it's super special for this family because his name's Alam Hadzich. And they're immigrants. His father came here, had his family here, wanted to raise his son to be an American, go to one of our schools, graduate, be valedictorian here, not in the home country, here, Texas. And so the dad was there for when the rankings came out, but when it was time for the graduation ceremony, the dad didn't make it. And now we have this just, not only is this an amazing story, the lady who put this together for WFAA, Sydney Persing, she's about to rip your heart out. She did this so good. So I'm just going to let her tell you the rest of it, and I'm going to go pretend like I'm not crying for a second.
When valedictorian Alam Hagich walked on stage to deliver his graduation speech.
Hello to all the graduates, families, and staff.
No one in the audience knew what this young man was going through.
I didn't know if I could give my speech. I knew I had to, but I didn't know if I could.
In January, Alam's father was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, but Alam never shared his dad's private battle with his classmates. Not until he delivered his valedictorian speech.
My father died yesterday, May 15th, 2024. And I attended his funeral today, right before graduation.
45 minutes before graduation, at 18 years old, Alam buried his dad.
That's why my shoes are bugging. That's why my arms are shaking, because I had to carry him into his grave and bury him. I had to go to my dad's funeral. I had to do it for him, but I also had to go to my graduation, and I also had to do that for him.
You see, Alam's dad was an immigrant, came from Bosnia, delivered Domino's pizza, all to build a better life for his kids, so they could succeed.
And I can't stand up here and pretend I want to be doing this speech right now, but I can't throw something away that he worked so hard for me to achieve. That's what he wanted, and I'm gonna do it for him.
And sharing his dad's story on stage, that did something for Alam too.
I never felt more alone that day. I never felt more alone than right before I had to give my speech. And that all changed when I looked in the audience and I saw people crying. I saw people getting moved by what I was saying.
What Alam said, the way people reacted to it, taught this graduate he is far from alone, and he'll always be his dad's kid.
Just like he was proud of me and he would be proud of me right now, I'm proud of him.
In Carrollton, I'm Sydney Persing.
All right, I'm not crying, you're crying. Jesus, Sydney, could you make that any more sad? What a good job she did with that. And I wish stories like this were more newsworthy. I get it. If it bleeds, it leads. People dying is, far more likely to get ratings than heartwarming stories like this. But man, just imagine being 18. You were 18. Could you imagine burying your dad the day you graduate? On top of that, as valedictorian, like your childhood just all ends on the same day. At least for most of us, there's a little bit of a transition period there where, okay, you get out of high school and then you go to another school, but it's a little more adult and you can sleep there and you're not in your parents' house, but you're still in school. And so, you get kind of gradually phased into adulthood. This guy just got dumped off into it. Boom. No umbrella over your head. Half of your support system's gone. Your biggest fan. Dude, I'm scared to lose my dad, and I'm almost 50. And he didn't, I'm sure he was upset about it, but look at how well he held up. I don't even think I could give a speech. And then he gave a speech, and look at how well he sounded talking to a TV camera. You have the spotlight on you. And I like to take moments like this and kind of focus on it for a second, because what you've seen for the last few months is a bunch of people that are around Alam's age, and they're students as well, but they were cheering for terrorists, blocking Jewish students from going to class, damaging property, talking about how evil and awful this country is and how everything's oppressive and everything's just so hate-filled, and they're just pessimistic and negative. And this guy is just the exact opposite. And damn it, if this should make just as much news as the bad kids, because we're all running around with the impression that that's what the next generation is those jerks we saw on campuses, and they're a small minority. There are far more Allams out there than you hear about on the news. There's probably more Allams out there than the pro-Palestinian protesters, the people that were representing some of the most evil, ugly parts of his peer group. So good for you, Allam. Good for you. And good luck. Because life is tough. But losing your dad at 18, can it get tougher than that? So, another round of applause for Allam. So sad. I want my kids to hear this story too, because my kids gripe because they didn't get to stop at Brahms on the way home and get ice cream, or when we went to the grocery store, they wanted to pick out, I want to try the new Bluebell, the Dr. Pepper float one. No, not this time around. And then what they do, they give you a hard time. Or, look, you can do everything for kids. You can put a roof over their head. You can pay for all of their meals, make sure they get a good education, make sure they have a full complement of extracurricular activities. You can take them to sports, practice, all the equipment that goes with it. But if you don't let them make in-app purchases, all of a sudden, you're the worst dad ever. I think about this like kids need to hear this story, because kids need to contemplate what life could be like. Because look, you had an imagination when you were that age. Imagine being forced to sit there and think about what your life would be like if your dad died. And I felt like that because there was a couple of my friends who lost a parent when I was growing up. And boy, for a second there, like I looked at my friend Jason Morris and I was like, man, I don't have anything to gripe about. Jason just lost his dad and we're still in high school. And of all the problems I have, and I still had problems, life wasn't perfect. Life didn't even get easier for me. But it did make me appreciate it. At least I still had my dad. And right now, at least I still have my dad. So, good luck. Allam Hadzich, you are the hero of the James Show today. 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. I'm James Parker. It's News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
There are many things today that you cannot control, but taking care of an IRS problem is something that you can control and resolve. Hi, I'm attorney Nick Namath with the law offices of Nick Namath, located right here in Dallas. I've successfully resolved IRS cases for thousands of clients. Here's Paul's story.
Hi, I'm Paul. I owed the IRS nearly $265,000, but didn't initially call Nick Namath. I used one of those out-of-state firms, and all I got was a bigger problem. I heard Nick's ad on the radio and knew I had to call him. The calming effect of his staff gave me the confidence to know that I had called the right person to help me this time. We were able to settle the $265,000 owed to the IRS for just under $13,000.
Whether you owe $10,000 or $265,000 like Paul, let the experience of the law offices of Nick Namath help you try and solve your IRS problem. If you're facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call me, Nick Namath, at 972-484-0829. That's 972-484-0829, or go to myiRSteam.com.
Can you spot the difference?
Don't get burned, get a Firehouse roof.
And then,
Don't get burned, get a Firehouse roof.
I'm sure you could spot the difference, but it's not always that easy to spot the difference when choosing a roofing company. Firehouse has been serving DFW for over 26 years and is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. If you have a damaged or leaking roof, call Firehouse today.
Don't get burned, get a Firehouse roof.
Are you ready for more? Hello, it's Dane Miner, General Manager of Freeman Toyota. And when you shop with Freeman Toyota, you get 3 years of complimentary oil changes, plus 3 years of complimentary tire rotations, plus a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty with every new Freeman Toyota. 3 years of complimentary oil changes, plus tire rotations, plus a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Like I said, you get a lot more, and you won't pay a dime for it. Come see us at 183 and 820 or shop online at freemantoyota.com.
Conservative Republican John McQueenie is a dedicated Texan. He will fight to secure our border and fight back against the liberal policies of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. That is why John McQueenie has been endorsed by Governor Greg Abbott. He will help Governor Abbott build the wall and stop the flow of illegal aliens and drugs from pouring across our border. Fighting for Texans, securing our border, Conservative Republican John McQueenie is on our side.
Political ad paid for by Texas Defense PAC.
I'm Jeff Stewart with Reliant Air Conditioning. Why do some AC companies pay their service techs on commission? ABC News did a sting on AC companies. They rigged a house with a simple broken wire, and 6 different companies tried to sell a woman hundreds of dollars of phony repairs. Why does this happen? Well, when they're getting a 15% commission on the total bill, it just breeds dishonesty and huge repair bills. At Reliant Air Conditioning, we provide comfort to homeowners who don't want to be taken advantage of. Our techs don't work on commission, and we don't use shady sales tactics. If you need a new system, you can combine factory and utility rebates to save over $5,000 on a brand new system that can cut your electric bill in half for as little as $98 a month. So call 2 other companies first, and then call Reliant Air Conditioning, and you'll see how we've been gimmick-free since '83. Our number's 877-YOUR-HERO or ReliantAirConditioning.com.
Reliant Air Conditioning. Call 877-YOUR-HERO.
Donate to Junk for Joy. Donate to Junk for Joy. Donate your car today to Junk for Joy. Donate to Junk for Joy. Donate to Junk for Joy. Donate your car today to Junk for Joy.
Donate your car today at junkforjoy.org. You'll get a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
Donate your car today to Junk for Joy.
Donate today and your car will be picked up by tomorrow.
DFW's News Talk Traffic and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP. And now on FM at 93.3.
Streaming live on our free mobile app.
A Cumulus Media Station. Trending now.
Lawyers on both sides entered jury instruction procedures in the New York Trump trial. I'm Eric Bushman from the Novak Motors News Desk.
ClassicChevrolet.com. WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
We had a new crash pop up in Dallas on northbound 35E just a little bit before Northwest Highway. It was cleared pretty quickly, but you still have about a 20-minute delay unwinding back from Regal Road. Still have the wreck in the right lane of northbound 35E just after 635. That one's adding about 5 to 10 extra minutes from Royal Lane. There's about a 30 to 45-minute delay in South Dallas. Southbound 45 has 2 left lanes closed down for construction at I-20. Your stop and go there back from Simpson Stewart. And another new crash, this one in Fort Worth, northbound 35W at Vickery. Left lane gone here and about a 10-minute jam built up from Ramsey Avenue. With WBAP, first traffic and weather on the ones, I'm Colin Ellis.
Why do so many Texans love Classic Chevrolet and Grapevine? We're the #1 Chevy dealership in the world. New Silverados, more than anyone. Malibus, Blazers, Equinox, got 'em. Visit ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023.
The WBAP forecast, partly sunny this afternoon with a high around 90 degrees. Heat index up to 97. It is 87 in Dallas, 88 in Fort Worth. With testimony concluded in the trial of former President Donald Trump, lawyers will discuss important matters before closing arguments next week.
The state and defense have entered what's called a charging conference, where both sides weigh in on how the jury of 7 men and 5 women should be instructed prior to deliberating. Former President Trump, who has been critical of Judge Juan Merchan, said he's skeptical about it.
We have no crime, and this next couple of hours is very important because the judge can try and manufacture one.
The former president faces 34 counts of falsifying business records, to which he's pleaded not guilty. The jury will not return to the courthouse until next Tuesday for closings. In New York City, Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Your money news is 3.6 million Texans get set to hit the road for the Memorial Day holiday weekend. AAA is reminding drivers to be sure your vehicle is mechanically sound. According to Daniel Armbruster with AAA Texas, the top reasons for roadside emergencies are dead batteries, flat tires, and engine problems.
You definitely don't want your holiday ruined by a roadside emergency. Having a trusted mechanic take a look at your vehicle before you go on a road trip, not a bad idea.
Nationwide, AAA expects to rescue nearly 380,000 stranded Memorial Day drivers, including approximately 20,000 in Texas. The Dow closed up 66 points, NASDAQ up 38, the S&P 500 up by 13. Again, the high today 90, it is 87 in Dallas, 88 in Fort Worth. I'm Eric Bushman. Your next news update is at 4 o'clock. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected, DFW, to News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
So the Dallas Stars will be traveling to Edmonton, Alberta next week, while the Mavericks will spend the rest of this week up in Minnesota. But at least they're both still playing. From our Mullen & Mullen Law Firm Sports Desk, I'm Steve Lamb. The Stars found out last night they'll be facing the Oilers in the NHL's Western Conference playoffs after Edmonton won a Game 7 at Vancouver last night. They'll be here on Thursday for Game 1 in the best-of-7 series, where the Stars should have a little more gas in the tank since they finished off the Colorado Avalanche last Friday. And the Mavericks will start their NBA Western Conference Finals in the land of 10,000 lakes in Minneapolis with the games tomorrow night and Friday, before that series shifts to Dallas for Game 3 on Sunday, Game 4 next Tuesday. And while all that's going on, they'll be teeing it up Thursday. It's round 1 of the Charles Schwab Challenge at Colonial Country Club in Fort Worth, where the winner on Sunday not only gets a big payday, $1.6 million, and that plaid jacket, but they also drive off with a pretty cool ride. A 1975 Schwab Stingray. This is a customized Corvette, fully restored, modernized, loaded with cutting-edge technology. It's got a modern GM LS3 V8 motor, generating more than 450 horsepower. You'll be able to see it in person if you go to the tournament this week. That's your Tuesday afternoon sports update. I'm Steve Lamb.
Brought to you by Clarity Windows.
You can save 40% off every other window with Clarity Windows. With over 20 years in business and so many consumer awards under their belt, Clarity has earned the trust of thousands of happy homeowners. Call Clarity today or just go to ClarityWindows.com.
This report is sponsored by Robert Half. Robert Half research indicates 9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring. Robert Half is here to help. Their recruiting professionals use proprietary AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. At Robert Half, they know talent. Visit roberthalf.com today.
Stimulating talk. News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Hey there. Welcome to the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. This is going to be a little stop in to see what headlines would look like if we had a different media. What different stories would be highlighted? Because we know that they'll take a highlight a story that has no, by any journalistic standards, national news credibility, but it fits the narrative. Well, what if our narrative was in charge of the news? We might do things differently. We might highlight other stories, like in San Diego. There is a fire going on. It started last week, and they thought they had it out, but it sparked back up. And then they thought they had it out again, but it sparked back up. And now they're saying this thing's going to last like 2 or maybe even 4 more weeks. Well, what's going on there? It's an electric vehicle battery plant. There's a little storage facility there. Oh, those things don't get put out so easily. Well, this is somewhat relevant to what's going on in the news because it was just last week your president signed some new tariffs into law, some protectionist tariffs for electric vehicles, electric vehicle battery parts, some steel, some aluminum, some components. And all this is tried to support the electric vehicle industry in America. Just another one, besides subsidizing it and punishing gas car makers and subsidizing it from all ends and protectionist tariffs. Still hasn't taken off like they hoped to. You've been told for 15, 20 years, this is the car of the future. And they've been wrong every time they've said it. Well, that explains why they're not too excited about hyping a story like this. Because the whole excuse for all this billions, if not trillions of dollars in spending on renewable energy, for all the excuse is that it's better for the environment. Is it? Let's go to the Fox affiliate in San Diego, Fox 5.
Fire crews continuing to battle a fire at the Gateway Energy Storage Facility in Otay Mesa since last Wednesday.
You have to put water on it to keep the fire confined, but that water damages the batteries, also allowing them to arc, starting another fire. So we're just trying to keep the public safe. We're trying to keep the fire contained to the building.
That chain reaction can happen when a lithium-ion battery creates heat faster than it can dissipate. The rapid increase of temperature then turns to fire. CAL FIRE reports there is now major damage to the building, including the roof. In Otay Mesa, officials continue to monitor the air quality and the water runoff to make sure it's safe for crews to be near. As for how much longer we might expect to see fire mitigation continue at the site,
We're not sure. We're preparing for the worst. We're making plans to be here for a long time, 2 to 4 weeks, and we'll reevaluate then.
And the smoke from that, I'm sure it's not real pleasant. It doesn't smell like this candle that my wife got at Bath and Body Works. It's probably a little more toxic than that as well. By the way, shout out to Palo Santo and Sage is the candle I would recommend. Smells worse than that. And I kind of giggle at this because, saving the environment sure does look bad for the environment. And you also got to remember the chemicals, the lithium ions and stuff that are fueling this disaster. Where do they come from? They come from countries with no ecological or environmental considerations whatsoever. And they're strip mine. Have you seen strip mining? That's where they take a mountain and basically just slowly grind it down to a flat. Or they take a nice little deposit and they make a big ditch, just a big wide hole. And then they leave it there. Because look, in these countries where it comes from, whether it comes from like Congo or, China or something to that effect, what do you think? They go back and they fill in that hole and they level it out and they plant a bunch of trees on top of it? No, they just leave and just ugly scar and otherwise pristine nature in order to get the lithium that's now burning in San Diego for 2, maybe 4 weeks. We don't know. But you're subsidizing this idiocy. Your paycheck is being eaten into, not just with the money that's withheld from it for taxes, but also the inflation that's going to this. We didn't have an extra $1 trillion to spend on the air quotes Inflation Reduction Act, which Biden says was the biggest spending in renewable energy and climate change efforts in history. You're paying for this. You're subsidizing this. On top of that, you're also paying higher prices through the protectionist tariffs that happen, and they keep telling you that this is a good thing to do. Electric vehicles are so much better for the environment. We've got to get rid of these gas vehicles because they're destroying the environment. How are they destroying the environment? Well, when you produce the energy to move you, it creates carbon dioxide. Okay, but what about when I plug in this car into the wall? That energy, does it not produce carbon dioxide? Well, let's not get too specific here, Parker. Let's break it down into, you got to allow for a little nuance. No, it's amazing how some stories can make national news if and only if it fits the narrative. But similar stories, this is an ecological disaster. This is something that is relevant to the people you're talking to. The people of the United States would be interested in hearing that stuff like this happens from the things that we're subsidizing. This happens to be related to the new tariffs that were just signed into law last week. If it's so important that the president has to sign executive orders and unilaterally change the tariff laws, and he has to put 100% tariff on electric vehicles from China. I mean, it's so important. We even have to put tariffs on component parts of electric vehicle batteries from other countries in order to protect our industry here. But that industry here has a disaster, and that's not news. I call BS. You can't only report on an industry in a good light, ignore everything it does bad, and not be propaganda. That's what propaganda is. If something is politically important, if and only if it serves your narrative, then you're not a news organization. You're a political activist organization masquerading as news. You're dishonest, you're unethical, and you're a liar. Lying by omission counts, people. Lying by omission, people, you can make an argument that it's not as bad as like actively lying, passively lying. Okay, maybe not. Still lying, still bad, still ugly. And it still stands that your worldview cannot win in the court of public opinion, cannot win the debate that we are all having in the real world if everyone got the real story. That tells me you have a flawed worldview, sir. If you're the guy that has to report on this, or I'm sorry, not report on this and cover for it in order for your worldview to not be embarrassed, I think we found a flaw with your worldview. 800-288 WBAP, 800-288-9227. This is the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Get the WBAP app to listen to WBAP free on your mobile phone. Open the App Store icon on your phone's home screen. Search WBAP. Click the download arrow, then open. You'll be asked a couple of questions. Click Allow to receive WBAP breaking news, traffic, and weather text alerts. Click the play button at the lower right and enjoy News Talk 820, WBAP, and 93.3 FM free.
Here at Massey, we know a thing or two about bugs. We've been keeping pests out of homes for almost 100 years. Our customized pest prevention program keeps bugs outside, in their home, not yours. Because when we prevent pests from getting in, we protect health, home, and family. Make your home a Massey home. Schedule your free inspection today at MasseyServices.com. Massey Services. Expect more and get it.
If you want to grow your business, you need advertising that moves. Moves to where your audience is watching and moves your customers to take action. Spectrum Reach has the solutions you need to connect with the right customers the right number of times across any screen, so you can be sure you're getting the most from your advertising dollar. Go to SpectrumReach.com to connect with a local advertising expert today. That's SpectrumReach.com, because advertising that moves is advertising that works.
Attention hailstorm victims. Has your residential or commercial property been damaged by hail, such as roofing, siding, and window damage? Insurance is meant to help you when you need it the most. The adjuster, however, may argue the property suffered pre-existing hail damage, poor construction, or lack of maintenance that led to the damage, or insist the required repairs are only minor. You paid your premiums. Now you are faced with tactics to delay, deny, or underpay your claim when you are owed thousands more. Everybody deserves a fair insurance settlement. Let the lawyers at Fitz Law Firm help you with your denied hail damage claim. Insurance companies have experts working for them. You should too. Texas law requires payment for all hail damage and entitles you to all hail-related damage plus penalties and interest. Contact the insurance dispute lawyers today for a free consultation. You will not be charged any fees unless you win. Don't delay. Your time to make a claim could be limited. Call 817-500-9904. That's 817-500-9904. Or visit hailclaimcenter.com. Principal Office, Houston, Texas.
John O'Shea can't seem to tell the truth about anything. He didn't vote for President Trump over Hillary. And over the last 20 years, O'Shea failed to vote in more than 30 elections, even skipping Ken Paxton's election, encouraging the radical left's agenda. He's not even a conservative.
Right now, I say I'm not a conservative.
John O'Shea was hit with a cease and desist for claiming endorsements he didn't have. He didn't admit to not paying taxes even after the IRS placed a lien on his failing business. And now John O'Shea's lying about Craig Goldman's record. Craig Goldman is the true conservative. He co-sponsored the bill to ban kids' transgender surgeries and passed the toughest border laws in the country. Craig Goldman is endorsed by Governor Abbott, Lieutenant Governor Patrick, and the NRA. Early voting is May 20th through the 24th. Election Day, May 28th.
I'm Craig Goldman, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Craig Goldman for Congress.
We've been dealing with construction all afternoon in South Dallas on southbound I-45. They've closed down 2 left lanes at I-20. Your stop and go all the way back from Simpson Stewart looks like about a 45-minute delay. They've also closed down the exit ramp from I-20 westbound to southbound 45. That's adding about 10 extra minutes of stop and go. There's a new crash in Farmers Branch, northbound 35E at Valley View. It's partially blocking the exit ramp there, causing a minor slowdown from Royal Lane. Also have a new crash in Allen, 75 northbound before Ridgeview. Left lane blocked here and about a 5 to 10 minute jam built up from Stacy Road. And in Grapevine, you have a new crash eastbound 114 at Main. It's also blocking the left lane and adding maybe 3 to 5 minutes of delay. With WBAP First Traffic, I'm Colin Ellis.
Brought to you by the University of North Texas Health Science Center at Fort Worth.
Caring for the whole person means more than treating their immediate symptoms. It means empowering people to participate in their care and creating a place where they can thrive. HSC Fort Worth is leading the way in promoting whole health in North Texas. Go to unthsc.edu/whole health. From the Airco AC Heating and Plumbing Studio, this is News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3.
Welcome to the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Welcome to the big show. So Ken left it on Facebook. Ken says, I can't find this fire in the latest news. Does someone have a link? Love that you left that that comment. Proves my point. I didn't find a national link either. I found the link. If you go to the local Fox affiliate, it was Fox. I think it's just fox5sd.com, if I remember correctly. So go check it out there. But thanks for proving my point that the news will easily just ignore any bad news that doesn't fit the narrative. Just how easily they do it. And look, I'm not saying you can't trust the news for anything. Just if it's something political, then be skeptical. Look at the source that it's coming from, and have they let you down in the past? That's the lesson here. And you should reward the news sources that get it right. You should reward the news sources that don't make the same mistakes that other ones do. But yeah, you've got to worry about that. Anything that could be political, be skeptical. The news isn't going to lie to you about an apartment fire that happened off the tollway. The news isn't going to lie to you about a shooting that happened in the bad part of town necessarily. But the local news also has some of the same problems that you've noticed from the national level, and we're not going to get around that anytime soon. So just view all reports with super skepticism and be a cynical old man. It will come in handy. You will be right more than you will be wrong. And then you look on the TV here. I have Fox News and Fox Business on right now. Trump just stepped out from court. Look, can we pause that? We'll check that out on the break and see if he says anything good. It's a good sign, though, that he has notes. What they were talking about right before this, though, is the surveys and the polls of young people and minorities is still skewing toward Trump. He is gaining in these demographics. Now, Andrew Breitbart once said politics is downstream of culture, and I think we're seeing some of that play out right now. What we have seen on the big level here is so many prominent voices that are, the people of color spokesmen, not necessarily spokesmen, just known names, are slowly making that transition too. And it just seems to happen. It's been my observation that you hear about a whole bunch of people who are saying things publicly with a big voice, and then the surveys weeks and months later pick up similar things being echoed from little voices. And so you're not going to hear this trumpeted any more than you heard about that electric vehicle battery fire that's going on in San Diego. But let's just take note of some of the bigger voices that are either saying nice things about Trump or refusing to endorse Biden. Because it used to be you were a crazy person, a black guy in a MAGA hat. What an insane idea. Kanye West, he probably needs to be put in a mental institution. That guy's so crazy. But I remember, Ice Cube said nice things about Trump last time around. Lil Wayne has actually been a pretty consistent Team Red guy. But this time around, you're seeing more. Cardi B hasn't endorsed Trump, but she has refused to endorse Joe Biden. Amber Rose just endorsed Trump. You don't know who Amber Rose is? Good. It's a very famous person with a demographic that you don't hang out with a whole lot, and they are hearing this. They know who Amber Rose is, and they are influenced by this. Rick Ross is not endorsing Biden. Rick Ross, I always thought had hope for him because if I'm not mistaken, isn't he a former, could be a policeman back in the day? And then you could also throw in this whole Puff Daddy thing that's going on. Puff Daddy's been a Biden endorser. He's been very pro-Democrat. Not that that's necessarily a stain on Democrats, but, when one of your largest cheerleaders has now been raided by the feds and he's making apology videos where the background looks like it's from a very non-extraditable setting, that's not going to help the cause. Meek Mill is basically MAGA at this point. And, you see a few of these other ones. I believe Lil Pump was another one. I don't know. You don't know who these people are. But these are big names, and people do know who these people are, and people who would never listen to your opinion on any of this, people who would never listen to my opinion. Why? Because I'm on WBAP. We're like the most evil thing they can possibly be to some people. Oh my goodness. They'll listen to these other people. And we spent a lot of time bagging on the millennials for all their faults and whatnot. But I'm telling you, I'm sniffing really good things from this Generation Z people. I think the pendulum has to swing back and forth. And there was the hippie generation where it swung way left. And then there was sort of that Reagan 80s where it swung back to the right. And then it swung to the left again. And look at which way we're swinging now. So just a little positive news out there. And I wanted to give credit because, again, it's not going to get the headlines it deserves. Look, if people were coming out in droves that used to be on the right wing and they were all endorsing Biden, that'd be making news. This, not so much. Not so much. And you know why, but we don't have to say it for the 1,000th time. Doesn't fit the narrative. Okay, we got it. So Dierks Bentley's coming to Dickies Arena June 7th. They have special guests Chase Rice and Zach Top. Who's Zach Top? I don't know Zach Top. I might have to check that out. I do know Chase Rice. Dierks Bentley's huge, though. Tickets are already on sale, Ticketmaster.com. But this is one of those tickets that are on the WBAP.com contest page. We have a contest page, and look, I go check this every once in a while. There's not a whole lot of people who go enter to win these contests, and we have to give them away. Like right now, if you go to the WBAP contest page, you could enter to win Hootie the Blowfish tickets, Meghan Trainor tickets. I didn't even know that was on there yet. So I wish I could sign up for some of these. She's going to be in town in October, but you can register to win her tickets now. They're having the Dierks Bentley tickets. There's a $300 Home Depot gift card that someone's going to get. $250 Lowe's gift card that someone's going to get. There's a Panera Bread gift card. There's all kinds of good stuff in here. Go register to win all these, and hopefully you get some freebies off of the show. All right, stick around. Coming up next, we're going to talk about a Texas school that may have attempted to cover up a sexual assault of a 5-year-old. Gross. That's next on The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Oh, it's been actually really good. I'm 81 years old. I'm a retired nurse, and I have found, I've taken it for about 5 years, I do feel better. At first, there wasn't a drastic change, but I found it really has made, a difference in my lifestyle. It does improve our quality of life.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order, plus $10 off any additional sets with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code DALLAS.
O'Reilly. Extend the life of your engine with regular oil changes and save at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, pick up 5 quarts of O'Reilly full synthetic motor oil and a MicroGuard oil filter for $31.99. Or upgrade to a MicroGuard Select filter for just $2 more. Limit supply, available in-store only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
Hey, my friends and realtors Dan Harker and Empower Home Team are on fire. Hi, I'm Brad Barton. Home sellers, I'm giving you the strongest recommendation I can to call Dan Harker and Empower Home Team with Keller Williams. Call them right now if you're looking to get top dollar for your home and have your home showcased directly to actual home buyers. Yes, real people are looking for homes like yours right now. Empower Home Team's results are staggering. No matter where you live in Dallas-Fort Worth or North Texas at large, for that matter, you're going to get top-level service and much higher profits from your sale. Please don't go with the agency that's only going to, quote, internet market your home. That's not going to be good enough. It's a fact. Dan Harker already has over 13,900 ready home buyers, and he'll sit down and show you the list. All you need to do is pick up the phone and call Empower Home Team at 844-672-SOLD. That's 844-672-SOLD, or visit HarkerHasTheBuyers.com. That's HarkerHasTheBuyers.com.
Are you a nonprofit organization making a difference in your community? Do you dream of expanding your impact, but the lack of space to do it? Hal J. here for Mueller Steel Buildings and Metal Roofing, but this time I'm talking to you about Mueller's Helping Hand. And once again this year, they're excited to announce Mueller's Helping Hand now accepting applications for the prestigious giveaway. That's right, one deserving nonprofit will be awarded a whopping 4,000 square foot building. Whether you're running a food bank, an after-school program, a shelter for those in need, this building could be a game changer for your organization. But Mueller's Helping Hand isn't looking for just any nonprofit. They're searching for those unsung heroes who go above and beyond to serve their communities. Applications must be received by May the 24th. Visit the website MuellerInc.com. That's Mueller, I-N-C, MuellerInc.com. Tell them Hal J. sent you.
Joe Biden and Kamala Harris opened our border to the Mexican drug cartels and created the worst border crisis in American history. That's why Justin Holland helped secure billions of dollars to build the wall and fight back against illegal immigration. Conservative Republican Justin Holland also voted to empower Texas law enforcement officials to deport criminal illegal aliens, securing our border, keeping Texas families safe. Conservative Republican Justin Holland is on our side.
Political ad paid for by Texas Defense PAC.
When you've got an unused car taking up money and mind space, not to mention your driveway, you know where to turn. It's Casey here. Sing it along with me. Donate your car today to Junk for Joy. More than a catchy jingle, it's a quick and convenient way to finally take care of that car. Junk for Joy will take any car in any condition with a pickup scheduled at a time that works for you. You'll get a voucher for a 3-day, 2-night hotel stay and a tax deduction. And your car will do good for kids. Go to junkforjoy.org now or call the number 1-877-JUNK-FOR-JOY. Donate your car today to Junk for Joy.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP AM, Fort Worth, Dallas. 93.3 WBAP FM, Haltom City, Dallas. And 99.5 KPLX FM HD2, Fort Worth, Dallas.
Streaming live on our free mobile app.
A Cumulus media station.
Trending now.
The border crisis again takes center stage on the Senate floor. I'm Eric Bushman from the Novak Motors News Desk.
ClassicChevrolet.com. WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
I-45 southbound at I-20, they've got road work up in the 2 left lanes. Heavy, they're back to Simpson Stewart. At 635 westbound at Hillcrest, that one has 3 right lanes blocked off already, about a 20-minute backup. 75 northbound at Ridgeview and Allen, that one closes off that left lane. And 114 westbound at Main Street in Grapevine, still got a wreck that blocks off the left lane. WBAP's first traffic on the ones, I'm Monty Cook.
Why do so many Texans love Classic Chevrolet in Grapevine? We're the #1 Chevy dealership in the world. New Silverados, more than anyone. Malibus, Blazers, Equinox, gotta visit ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023.
I'm WFA meteorologist Kyle Roberts. Storm chances continue over the next few days before much warmer weather arrives for your holiday weekend. Tonight, any storms out there will come to a close, and then tomorrow it's a high of 89, a 60% coverage of thunderstorms during the day. Some of those could be strong to severe. Thursday, it's a high of 86, a 60% coverage of rain, and once again, some storms could be strong to severe. 93 on Friday, 94 Saturday, 96 on Sunday.
87 degrees in Dallas, 88 in Fort Worth. This news brought to you by Wilhite Rose and Roberts. Speaking on the Senate floor, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell spoke about the ongoing migrant influx at the southern border, calling it a failure on the Biden administration's end.
On the Biden administration's watch in fiscal years 2021 through 2023, the average tally of known gotaways is 550,000. From 125,000 to more than 500,000.
This comes as Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is bringing a new standalone border security bill for a vote again this week. The bill resulted from months of bipartisan talks, but Schumer does not expect too many Democrats to support it, and Republicans have pledged to oppose it. Staying on the Senate floor unintentionally here, there are still hundreds of thousands of homes without power throughout Houston and southeastern Texas in the aftermath of deadly severe weather last week. Senator John Cornyn providing an update on the cleanup and recovery during a Senate speech.
More than 1 million Texans lost power, and it's starting to get warm in Texas as we approach the summer, and some 200,000 homes remain without electricity or air conditioning.
8 people were killed during storms last week throughout the state. Your money news: the Biden administration is releasing nearly 1 million barrels of gasoline from the Federal Reserve to help lower prices for drivers.
The Energy Department is selling 1 million barrels, representing about 42 million gallons of gasoline from the Northeast Gasoline Supply Reserve in New Jersey and Maine. The reserve was established in the aftermath of Superstorm Sandy. Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm says the strategic release between Memorial Day and July 4th will ensure sufficient supply of gas in the New York region and northeastern U.S. at a time Americans need it the most. Gas prices are averaging about $3.60 a gallon nationwide. That is up 6 cents from a year ago, according to AAA. Jared Halpern, Fox News.
The Dow closed up 66 points, NASDAQ up 38, the S&P 500 up by 13. Again, the low tonight around 76. It is 87 in Dallas, 88 in Fort Worth. This news also brought to you by Mueller, Inc. I'm Eric Bushman. Your next news update is at 4:30. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected, DFW, to News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
This hour on WBAP is brought to you by the Wilhite Law Firm Injury Lawyers. Go to WilhiteWins.com.
That's WilhiteWins.com.
Hey there, welcome. It's the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. We got another story from the great work of TexasScorecard.com. It's a disgusting story. I am tired of my next guest, Brandon Walton's from Texas Scorecard. I am tired of going to your website. It disgusts me, Brandon. All these stories I have to read about teachers in public schools doing inappropriate things. I'm tired of seeing these stories.
Well, I'm tired of it as well, and unfortunately, there's just been no shortage of it, especially lately. No matter where you are in the state, right? It's not just DFW. It's not just Houston. It's all over the state. It's absolutely disgusting. But at the same time, we need to expose this, right? The only way that we're going to fix these issues is if people know about it. I think parents are waking up now to the issues that are happening in our government schools, and hopefully that is at least causing some people to take some action.
Well, this is I have a lot of criticism for the media on this as well, because, you're told that if it bleeds, it leads, and they just run sensational stories, anything that'll get you to not turn the channel. But they will ignore these stories that are very compelling about children that are not only being abused, especially at very young ages in public schools, but how often it's glossed over or covered up for, or these teachers can just go to another school and get another job. And this one that's got me all fired up today, we go down to Round Rock. If you're on your way to Austin, you'll pass through this place where, Brandon, did they cover up the assault of a 5-year-old? Is that what the story is?
Well, that's what is being alleged by the former Round Rock ISD chief of police. So Round Rock ISD, like a lot of school districts in the state, has its own police department, and they now have their former chief of police saying that the district recently attempted to hide the sexual assault of a 5-year-old student, that the superintendent, that school board, some of the school board members were in on it. In fact, this was brought to our attention because this letter went public, and thanks to the help of 2 of the Round Rock ISD Board of Trustees members. So 2 of the members on the school board coming public with this and saying, this is a problem, and it looks like the school district has been covering it up.
Look, we've heard the story just echo over and over on, not just Texas Scorecard, but all across the state. And we can say some of the same things like, well, this happens in all kinds of school districts. Round Rock is an affluent suburban district where you'd think it'd be safe. I want to take another approach to this. And Brandon, let's just go ahead and get straight up political. How quick would school choice get passed if these were heralded in the news like they should be?
Well, I think there's a reason, to your point, why a lot of the leftist legacy news doesn't cover these stories, because it doesn't fit the narrative, right? Which is that the left currently has been, we know this, has been using the public education system as a means to indoctrinate students anywhere from radical gender ideology to all sorts of problematic issues. And these issues, specifically when we talk about sexual assault that's happening in schools, is some of the absolute worst stuff that we've seen. And so, the fact that that doesn't fit their narrative, I think that if parents knew about this, I think there'd be a much more and even more radical shift among parents is saying, look, we need to do something. We need to fundamentally change our current government system of education because it's broken.
Well, it also feels like it's cultural. Not that we're all guilty of this, but when the thing happens, it doesn't matter. It's a human endeavor. Someone's going to eventually do something untoward toward children. But we should still have the cultural backstops in place to where the administration doesn't sweep this under the rug. We should still have the mores and the values driven in our society so that the media doesn't overlook this for political purposes. And we also need to get off of this whole political hype machine to where we think that our political preferences are more important than the well-being of children who have been assaulted.
Yeah, and that's the worst part, right? Is the fact that you have these administrators allegedly. I mean, these are allegations that are being made, but by people who were involved in the situation, and they're alleging that the administrators covered this up. This wouldn't be the only time and the only place this has happened. I mean, Prosper ISD, just a couple years back, has been accused of covering up sexual assault in a similar situation. In that case, it was by a bus driver in the district. And so we do see cases, unfortunately, where these bad things happen, but that the administration works to try to make sure that parents don't know about it.
What's the legal setup here? If these administrators find out about a sexual assault that gets reported, that like there was another one you guys had reported on where they even reviewed video footage from the school bus, and the administrators didn't report it to police. Isn't that illegal?
Yeah, you would think so, right? And I'm not totally versed on all the levels of criminality there, but our administrators and the people that we have in schools are entrusted and do have the obligation to report this stuff when they see it. It is unfortunate that it takes a former chief of police for the school district to come out and say, look, we saw this, we reported it, but they cover it up. It's unfortunate that it's come to that level.
Brandon Walton, you guys are doing great work at Texas Scorecard. How can the guy find out more about what you guys are doing?
Absolutely. We are at TexasScorecard.com. You can follow us there, or we're on social media at Texas Scorecard.
I appreciate it. Brandon Walton, TexasScorecard.com. Put it in your rotation because there is not a lot of reliable news, apparently, in Texas, especially when it comes to things that are politically overlapping with what you believe. Thank you. Thanks again, Brandon. And look, I don't want to hear everybody's story about how you've been abused or had problems with your school's administration, but you do need to, if you have one of these egregious stories, just keep letting people know until the word gets out. If you get ignored by a media outlet, try Texas Scorecard or try me. We'll help get the word out about some of these, because I don't know. I am definitely more disgusted by the fact that it happened and a kid was abused, but I'm only slightly less disgusted that people are willing to overlook this for political purposes. I find that to be pretty gross. 800-288-9227, 800-288-WBAP. Coming up next, I'm going to play for you a viral video about a guy who went to the beach, and he was upset because two people had brought, you're not going to believe this, they were flying flags at the beach. And you know what the flag was for? No, it wasn't for Israel. It wasn't for Hamas. It wasn't the rainbow flag. It wasn't the Confederate flag. It was the American flag. Oh, my goodness. You'll hear his reasoning and why he's so offended by the American flag coming up next on The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Coming up Wednesday morning at 6:47, will there be fallout following the sudden death of the Iranian president? We'll talk live with Victoria Coates from the Heritage Foundation about that.
And at 7:47, a rather surprising poll shows what Americans think about money.
I'm Ernie Brown.
I'm Carla Mary, and Monty Cook has your traffic on the ones. Chief Meteorologist Brad Barton has your forecast. Steve Lamb with sports, and Nicole Osei has your news update to the top and bottom of each hour, along with your money news. And Hal J keeps us laughing.
It's all on Wednesday's WBAP Morning News 5 till 9 on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
Can you spot the difference?
Don't get burned, get a Firehouse Roof.
And then,
Don't get burned, get a Firehouse Roof.
I'm sure you could spot the difference, but it's not always that easy to spot the difference when choosing a roofing company. Firehouse has been serving DFW for over 26 years and is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. If you have a damaged or leaking roof, call Firehouse today.
Don't get burned, get a Firehouse Roof.
If you've been injured in the Lone Star State, never go it alone. Not having an expert on your side can seriously hurt your chances of winning a Texas-sized settlement. The Wilhite Law Firm was awarded Best Law Firm in 2023. We know from experience that when you're in a serious accident, you seriously need the best attorney. Get your free case review at WilhiteWins.com. That's WilhiteWins.com. WilhiteWins.com. Don't delay. Click today.
Prior results do not guarantee similar outcome.
You wouldn't know it, but most financial advisors are put in a box. I'm Jeff Jr. from Trajan Wealth, and I want to provide you a little insight about financial advisors. Most financial advisors have to sell what their company requires them to sell, and many advisors have to only adhere to what's called a suitability standard. A suitability standard is a limited standard of care, not requiring what's sold to be best, just suitable. Advisors with this loose standard often have limited investment and product selection. Trajan Wealth is held to a fiduciary standard, which is the highest standard of care in the advisory business. And that's just one of the many reasons we have billions of dollars under our care and attract clients from other advisors. Raise your standards today and call Trajan Wealth. Call 469-579-3500. 469-579-3500.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Sell your home with the most trusted and experienced real estate team in the U.S. Mark Spain Real Estate gets it done every time. Hi, this is Mark Spain, and our offers are the strongest in the industry. When you get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can sell your home stress-free and avoid the hassle of costly repairs. There are no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Our guaranteed offer keeps you in control. One of our clients, Ruth, said, "It was wonderful working with Mark Spain Real Estate. This was my first time using a realtor when selling, and they made the process extremely easy. I always felt like they had my back. Thanks so much, Mark Spain Real Estate." Don't worry about the inconveniences of selling your home. The guaranteed offer makes selling your home easy. I've been serving homeowners for nearly 30 years and have helped over 58,000 satisfied clients sell their home. I know what matters most: a quick sale and maximum profit. Find out what your guaranteed offer will be and close in as little as 21 days. There's no obligation. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Still got those delays as you make your way along I-45 southbound from I-20 down to the SM Wright Freeway. Construction up in the 2 left lanes, 45-minute backup to Simpson Stewart. Also got the issue on 635 westbound at Hillcrest. 3 right lanes are blocked off. That's heavy all the way back to 75. 75 northbound at Ridgeview and Allen, the left lane's blocked. It's still slow back to Exchange Parkway. And in Grapevine, 114 eastbound at Main Street, that one hanging out the left lane. With WBAP's First Traffic, I'm Monty Cook.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Shopping for new blinds? At Blindster, we offer over 50 different blinds, shades, and shutters at low prices, custom made for your windows, and shipping is free. Shop at home and order 10 free samples of any product before you buy. Blindster.com.
Brought to you by Sewell Cadillac of Dallas and Sewell Cadillac of Grapevine.
The only thing better than a Cadillac is a Sewell Cadillac. Discover the Cadillac of your dreams and experience our unparalleled customer service today at Sewell Cadillac of Dallas or Sewell Cadillac of Grapevine.
News Talk 820 WBAP is now on FM
at 93.3.
there, welcome to the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. The trial of the century continues in New York. Donald Trump's done for the day. He comes out and he's standing in that goofy, echoey hallway behind the barricades like he's at a Fall Out Boy concert. He's got some papers in his hand. He's wearing a black suit, white shirt, yellow tie, and he's doing his customary 3-minute statement at the end of court today. Now, this is right around 3 minutes, so we're going to go ahead and play the whole thing. We got to listen to it, and I think you'd be interested to hear what he has to say.
Thank you very much. Jonathan Turley just came out with a statement that he thinks that this case is collapsing of its own weight. This case is a disgrace to our country, to the state of New York. Never seen anything like it. Stephen Calabresi, it's an outrage that the district attorney brought this case and that the judge did not declare it a mistrial. Very highly respected. Stephen Calabresi. He says an outrage that the district attorney brought this case and the judge did not declare a mistrial. And everybody's saying it in one form or another. Andy McCarthy, what they have, this kind of a case is that the federal prosecutors at my old office, the Southern District of New York, wouldn't take it in the first place. They would not take it. The Southern District turned down this case. And the case that Cy Vance looked at and wouldn't take it, and the case that Bragg himself looked at in 2022 and shut it down. And this is what we've been wasting all this time on. Alan Dershowitz, I've observed and participated in trials throughout the world. I have seen justice and injustice in China, Russia, Ukraine, England, France, Italy, Israel, as well as in nearly 40 or 50 states. But in my 60 years as a lawyer and law professor, I have never seen a spectacle such as the one I observed sitting in the front row of the courthouse. He's never seen anything like it. He's been a great lawyer, great legal scholar for years. He's never seen anything like it. It's all politics, said Leo Terrell. If anyone tells you otherwise, they're not a lawyer. Let me just tell you that the White House is the person or the group, whatever. They're the one trying this case. You heard who was doing all the talking. Representative from the White House, just recently. This is all about Biden can't campaign, so he's trying to injure his opponent. They're trying to hurt the opponent because they can't win it fair and square.
All right, so that's it. That's what we got on his comments there. Does that do it? All right. So, look, none of that's a big shock. He says the case against him is collapsing quickly. He quoted people who, look, they're legal. I don't know. Is Leo Terrell a legal scholar? I know Andrew McCarthy is actually a lawyer. I don't know who Leo Terrell is. The name sounds familiar, but I'm not going to say he's a lawyer. But I know Andrew McCarthy is, and he was quoting them. Since, he himself is not a lawyer, you can quote other lawyers to sort of echo your case. And look, Trump, one of the bad things about having to analyze Trump is so often you know what he's going to say. You don't get surprised by Trump very much. He's not going to tell you, like, if you gave him a candy bar and said, tell me if this is any good, he's either going to tell you this is the best candy bar in the world. Everyone loves it. Believe me. Everyone says so. I know it. You know it. Everybody knows it. Or he's going to say it's the worst candy bar in the world. I know it. You know it. Everyone knows it. There's no middle ground. There's no nuance. There's no gray area with this guy. So he's not going to say, well, the court case is going pretty good. Nope. Case is collapsing quickly, not slowly collapsing quickly. It's an abysmal failure. It's a grand injustice. But this is how he talks. If you haven't noticed by now, if you just by observing the dude for the last decade, go read one of his books. I read Art of the Deal, and there's a reason he talks like this. He has trained himself to talk like this. It's sort of a business school echo that you're hearing here, and that's how you talk. Because look, for business school people, I don't know if you went to business school, but you're taught that whatever business you're in, you're really in the business of marketing. And there are certain commonalities between all businesses, whether you're selling dog food or if you're selling a dentist or if you're selling a new car. You don't say, it's a pretty good car, or he's a pretty good dentist, or that's pretty good dog food. It's the best dog food. It's the best truck on the market. He's the best dentist in Plano. You don't slow roll it. And look, I'm not saying that's right or wrong. That's just what you're taught in business school. That's why no commercials sound like my commercial. I intentionally do my commercials different, but that's why so many of the commercials sound the same. They're all going from the same playbook. They're all going from a sales playbook. That's why so many of the brand names and the logos and the marketing that you see is done in either red or yellow or red and yellow. They're all playing from the same sheet of music. So if he sounds different, it's because he's not a politician. He is a businessman. And when we say businessman, we really mean salesman. Because most people in a business capacity are in sales. If you're a financial advisor, you don't just have to know how to, turn on Social Security. You need to know how to let the world know that you're a financial advisor, and they need to give you a call. If you are a dog sitter or if you have a kennel, same thing. You also need to know how to take care of dogs, but you also need to know how to let the world know that they can give you their dogs. And how do you do that? By saying it's the best, it's the greatest, or your competition is the worst. So right here, he is selling you on this case. This isn't a pretty good case or a pretty bad case. This case is collapsing quickly. Everyone agrees. Everyone says this is a radical injustice. He's quoting Leo Terrell. He's quoting Andrew McCarthy. He's look, the fact that he's taking time to even do these regular speeches to the media after court means he knows he's playing the PR game. This shouldn't be important on whether or not he's innocent or guilty. And overall, it really isn't. But that's not what this is all about. This isn't an attempt to seek justice. This is an attempt to tank a guy's campaign. And if he can't be out giving speeches on the campaign trail, if he can't, because he should be in some swing state right now talking to some group, some gun owners of Michigan group, or the concerned Christian moms of Wisconsin, or something Pennsylvania related, whatever they do up there. But instead of that, he is not letting the opportunity go. He cannot be quiet. He cannot hide under a bushel. He cannot bypass the opportunities to still get his side of the story out. This is what makes him so good. It's because he is a salesman. And look, a lot of us bristle at sales speech because we're so inured to it. We almost find it abrasive. Like when you get a telemarketer call and it's like, hey, I'd just like to talk to you about your car's insurance. Click. We already know where this is going. We have a tendency to turn this stuff off. And so it's kind of weird. We gripe about politicians so much and how politicians do their double speak and they never say anything and they talk with gray areas and they're intentionally try and obfuscate the real meaning or their real policy position. And it catches you off guard when a guy comes out there, instead of doing political speech, he does what? He does business speech. Remember, he is ultimately a salesman. All right, now coming up next, I'm going to do the viral video of the guy having a fit because he sees some American flags and it defends his delicate sensibilities. We'll make fun of this guy coming up next on The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Attention hailstorm victims. Has your residential or commercial property been damaged by hail, such as roofing, siding, and window damage? Insurance is meant to help you when you need it the most. The adjuster, however, may argue the property suffered pre-existing hail damage, poor construction, or lack of maintenance that led to the damage, or insist the required repairs are only minor. You paid your premiums. Now you are faced with tactics to delay, deny, or underpay your claim when you are owed thousands more. Everybody deserves a fair insurance settlement. Let the lawyers at Fitz Law Firm help you with your denied hail damage claim. Insurance companies have experts working for them. You should too. Texas law requires payment for all hail damage and entitles you to all hail-related damage plus penalties and interest. Contact the insurance dispute lawyers today for a free consultation. You will not be charged any fees unless you win. Don't delay. Your time to make a claim could be limited. Call 817-500-9904. That's 817-500-9904. Or visit HaleClaimCenter.com. Principal Office, Houston, Texas.
Get peace of mind with Dallas Plumbing and Air Conditioning. Serving Dallas and Fort Worth for over 120 years, their experts handle all your plumbing, heating, and air conditioning needs. Visit DallasPlumbing.com and book your whole home plumbing inspection for only $89 to ensure your home's plumbing stays safe and efficient. Call 469-599-7200 or visit DallasPlumbing.com. That's DallasPlumbing.com. Licensed TACLB 50010E.
Will your retirement dreams survive the next market crash? Do you have a plan for a potential 30, 40, or even 50% fall? Imagine the sacrifices you may have to make. Would you be forced to unretire? Hi, I'm Ken Murray, founder and CEO of Retirement Planners of America, here to invite you to one of our free retirement planning seminars. We'll explain our invest and protect strategy and how it is designed to protect you from the next bear market. We want your money to last as long as you do. We'll also discuss Social Security, Medicare, retirement cash flow, and more. Don't miss out on this free opportunity to expand your retirement knowledge. Sign up for a seminar today.
Call now, 469-331-2426. That's 469-331-2426.
Retirement Planners of America, RPOA.com.
In today's economy, it's very important to make wise, calculated decisions. And it's no different when you need to choose contractors to take care of your home. Whether you're needing a contractor for maintenance, repair, or to add elements to your home, doing your homework and lowering your risk is very important. That's why you should find your contractors on thegoodcontractorslist.com. Thegoodcontractorslist.com presents contractors from every field of home service that we not only background checked and interviewed face-to-face, we also feel confident enough in their quality and way of doing business that we back every job they do with a $10,000 guarantee to the homeowner. Why sort through all the choices on the search engines and still be on your own when you can find hand-selected contractors on thegoodcontractorslist.com and have a third-party guarantee to back you up? We believe your wisest decision when hiring contractors is using thegoodcontractorslist.com. That's thegoodcontractorslist.com.
If the job's not right, we'll get it fixed. Only at the Good Contractors List.
In less than 1 hour, I changed my life. Hi, it's Chris Kroc for Connect Hearing. If you have hearing issues like I do, visit any of the 35 Texas Connect Hearing clinics for the best experience in hearing care. I love my new Phonak hearing aids from Connect Hearing. They're truly life-changing. Schedule your consultation with Connect Hearing and mention Chris Kroc for $500 off new set of hearing aids. Call 972-301-7350 or connecthearing.com. Terms and conditions apply. See in-store clinic for details.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP. And now on FM at 93.3.
Streaming live on our free mobile app.
A Cumulus Media Station. Trending now.
Court recesses for the day in Donald Trump's New York trial. I'm Eric Bushman from the Novak Motors News Desk.
ClassicChevrolet.com. WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
How about I-45 southbound, I-20 down to 310, the SM Wright Freeway. 2 left lanes still taken away there. That's about an hour-long backup. Loop 12 Ledbetter. 635 westbound at Hillcrest. 3 right lanes are closed. That's heavy into the high 5. Also 75 northbound at Ridgeview. Got a wreck taking away that left lane. At 114 eastbound at Main Street in Grapevine, the left lane still blocked for a wreck. And in Aledo, I-20 westbound around 1187 Farmer Road got a report of a crash. On WBAP's first traffic on the ones, I'm Monty Cook.
Why do so many Texans love Classic Chevrolet in Grapevine? We're the #1 Chevy dealership in the world. New Silverados, more than anyone. Malibus, Blazers, Equinox. Gotta visit ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023.
The WBAP forecast, partly sunny this afternoon, high around 90 degrees. It is down to 75 with rain moving through in Dallas, 89 though in Fort Worth. Again, we do have some rain moving through Dallas County right now, nothing severe, just your normal variety showers and thunderstorms. Former President Donald Trump wrapped up another day in a New York courtroom for his criminal hush money case. Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio told Fox's Larry Kudlow the case is bad for the country.
Democrat or Republican, Biden voter or Trump voter, we cannot accept this principle that the President of the United States and the Democrats get to try to jail their political opponents. This is not okay, and if we allow this to continue, Larry, we're going to wake up in a third world banana republic.
Former President Trump continues to call the case a witch hunt and election interference. Closing arguments are expected a week from today. Your money news: as the Memorial Day holiday weekend bears down upon us, experts are providing travel tips.
For the 3.2 million Texans traveling by car this weekend, AAA suggests packing an emergency kit, food, water, and mobile phone charger in case you break down. Daniel Armbruster with AAA Texas says it's a good idea to have your car looked at by a mechanic.
Make sure your tires are inspected, your battery and your fluid levels under the hood are in good condition, your belts and hoses are also not cracked or tearing.
Close to 44 million Americans will travel this holiday weekend at least 50 miles away from home. Mike Trina, WBAP News.
The Dow closed up 66 points, NASDAQ up 38, the S&P 500 up by 13. Again, the low tonight around 76. It is 75 in Dallas, 89 in Fort Worth. I'm Eric Bushman. Your next news update is at 5 o'clock. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected, DFW, to News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
So we've got the Dallas Mavericks flying to Minnesota. Dallas Stars resting up one more day before they host Edmonton, and the Texas Rangers on the road in Philadelphia. Plus, C.D. Lamb is still looking for a contract extension with the Dallas Cowboys. From our Mullen & Mullen Law Firm Sports Desk, I'm Steve Lamb. Mavericks head coach Jason Kidd said it's incredible for the city, with his team and the Stars both in the Western Conference playoffs in the NBA and the NHL. Mavs and the Timberwolves playing tomorrow night and Friday at the Target Center, then in Dallas Sunday and next Tuesday, while the Stars host the Oilers Thursday and Saturday at the AAC before they go to Alberta next Monday and Wednesday. And the Rangers are at the National League East leading Philadelphia Phillies for 3 games, and then they're going to spend the weekend at the Minnesota Twins. And the Cowboys are holding organized team activities in Frisco. They're voluntary, and wide receiver C.D. Lamb isn't voluntary. He's waiting for a contract extension from the Cowboys, wants to be paid as one of the top receivers in the game. Plus, you've got his teammates, Dak Prescott and Micah Parsons. They also want extensions. Front office has got some tough decisions to make going forward. That's your Tuesday afternoon sports update. I'm Steve Lamb.
Brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Save at Whole Foods Market. Get 20% off organic air-chilled boneless skinless chicken breast. No antibiotics ever with Prime through May 21st. Turn this versatile protein into a hearty, delicious meal for the family. While supplies last, shop in-store or online. Terms apply.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their end-to-end solution helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all year round. Schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from your Indeed dashboard. Learn more by visiting Indeed.com/credit.
More traffic reports more often.
News Talk 820 WBAP. And now on FM at 93.3.
Hey there, how you doing? It's the James Show, News Talk 820, WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Man, it's funny what some people find offensive these days. Good. If I could get in a time machine, I would want to go back like 50 years and just be like, show of hands, who finds the American flag offensive? Because it seemed to not matter what side of the aisle you were on. People were fighting over the American flag. You know, the civil rights activists back then, when they would get in the street, they'd have American flags and they would sing the Star-Spangled Banner. Like that's what happened at Selma. That's what happened at most of those MLK marches. That's what happened in Montgomery. That's what happened whenever George Wallace would come out with fire hose. He was hitting people carrying the American flag and singing the national anthem. Now we have millionaires with no real grievances whatsoever that are singing a different national anthem because this country's so... I find this bizarre how, of all things, the American flag could be found offensive by anyone who's American. Now, if you're North Korean, the American flag's not your friend. If you're in the Taliban or ISIS, American flag's not your friend. But to have some rando here, and I call him rando because I don't know who this is, I had to edit him, so don't worry. The cuss words are taken out of this. But in the setting here, he looks like he's at a beach, like a public beach, and it doesn't look anything nice. It doesn't look like he's at a resort. It doesn't look like he's at Galveston with a seawall behind him. It looks like some place that's kind of off the beaten path. That's maybe an Airbnb or someone's beach condo, and it's not even that crowded. There's only a few people on it, and they're pretty well spread out, and it doesn't look packed. It looks like everyone has enough room to do whatever they want. But listen to this guy's grievance. This is bizarre to me.
I'm here enjoying a nice day at the beach with my kids, and I turn around, I got these flags planted here on the beach by these MAGA. Listen, this is all America. We know. You didn't storm the beaches to stake out your territory on the beach. This isn't the moon. I get it. This is America. But I'm sick of my flag being represented by white nationalist trash on a beach. Go yourselves.
Well, that was not very nice. This guy would not do very well in etiquette class if that was in his finals. But you knew what was coming. You knew it would be something political. You knew it would be something along those lines. But boy, did he just really lean into it. He hates the American flag because he sees it being waved by his political opponents. He calls you MAGA Fs. And look, how many false accusations are in this? And one of the reasons, like, I find these videos so frustrating is you are the one that's constantly being accused of being hateful and following a hate-filled ideology, and you don't have any empathy. Where was the empathy here? It sounds like you're the guy that's full of hate. You're the guy that's driven by hate. You're the guy that's, oh my goodness, I can't stand this flag. Why? Because my political opponents are flying it, and they're white supremacist and racist, and you're calling them all kinds of names. So there's the MAGA Fs that he associates with the flag. Look, if you're tired of your political opponents owning the flag, then the answer is for you to wave the flag. Maybe wave more flags or wave bigger flags. But this guy is just, he has been trained. His appetite has been whittled down so sharp to hate anything that is from the other side of the political spectrum. This is what happens. It's not neutral when you constantly call your political opponents Nazis or bigots or racists or white supremacists or white nationalists or Klansmen or whatever the horrible pejorative that's being thrown at us constantly. Some people are going to believe it. Some people are not going to believe it at first, but after they hear it the 5,000th time, they'll start to repeat it. It's almost impossible to not be in that position. And so look at how much this guy has been trained to hate you, because no one wearing a MAGA hat's ever done anything bad to him. No one in a MAGA hat is running around punching people in surveillance videos or robbing stores. Nobody in a MAGA hat is blocking Jewish kids from going to school or destroying buildings on campus. No one in a MAGA hat throws a brick through the Target and then goes and loots the place. People in MAGA hats are not committing crimes. People in MAGA hats are not committing political violence. People in MAGA hats are not locking arms and blocking highways or disrupting anyone's commute. So how can you come away with, of the two political spectrums, one of them is doing all that and the other one isn't? How are these the bad guys? Because that's all this man has heard from almost every news station except for Fox, which he has also been trained to hate and not trust. From all the examples I brought to you from Netflix and from Hollywood and from all the other TV shows, all the examples he hears from his favorite musicians, his favorite actors, probably his favorite professors back in college. And you feed people a steady diet of hating MAGA, and don't worry, they will learn to hate MAGA. But a couple things. Let's go through this bit by bit, because it gets interesting when you start to just pick off the branches of this little hateful tree.
I'm here enjoying a nice day at the beach with my kids, and I turn around, I got these flags planted here on the beach by these MAGA.
By these MAGA Fs. We have these flags on the beach planted by these MAGA Fs. How does he know they're MAGA? I saw the video. I didn't see anyone in a red hat. Does he just assume that they're MAGA? And what does that say when someone's so proud of their country that they would bring a flag to the beach and plant it next to their tent or next to their little setup that they had there. They love this country. They must be MAGA. Really? So what your side wouldn't dare fly the flag? Oh, that's right. That's what it is. You hate this country. Oh, that's the real lesson here. They really do hate this country. And that's the irony that just astounds me and you both. They hate this country. They think it's full of sexist, racist, bigot, homophobe, Klansmen, white supremacists, neo-Nazis. They hate this country. But what do they accuse you of? Being hateful. I hate you. Why? Because you're so hateful. But don't you? No, they don't get it. They don't see it. But it's a conditioning thing. Because nothing actually bad has happened to him. He is offended on behalf of other people. Because even if they are racist or sexist, he's a white male. None of this offends him. No, he's been trained. This is what they call empathy. Anyway, let's continue with this.
Listen, this is all America. We know. You didn't storm the beaches to stake out your territory on the beach. This isn't the moon.
All right, so we didn't storm the beaches to take this over and plant the flag. Yeah, like I get it. It's not Iwo Jima. I don't think the guy on the beach behind you or the two American flags on the beach behind you were planted by a guy who was mistaking this for a military conquest. It is quite okay to be proud of your country. It is quite okay within this country to fly your own flag. It's not a sign of bigotry or hatred does he even know who they voted for?
I get it. This is America. But I'm sick of my flag being represented by white nationalist trash.
White nationalist trash. Did he go talk to those people and ask their opinions on race? I'm just beyond exhausted with this idea that America is full of white nationalist trash. Name one. Name a for real white nationalist. Name of all the people in elected office. There's got to be thousands of them. Which one, if you put a microphone in front of their face and said, hey, are you a white nationalist? How many of them would say yes? Because I don't think it's 50-50. I don't think it's 60-40. I don't think it's 90-10. I don't think it's 99 to 1%. I think it's absolutely zero. This is a phantom problem that these guys have. These guys are imagining that racism is the driving factor behind why people would fly the American flag because it represents racism. Stop it. That's not what the American flag. If that's what it means to you, then you really live a miserable, sad existence. If you have been trained to hate the freest, most prosperous, most equal country in the history of humankind, then someone has done you a great disservice. You should be grateful you get to live in here. Your heart should swell with pride whenever you see an American flag. And look, that's the reaction of a lot of people. And would that be hate-filled? If you saw someone else put an American flag on the beach and you're like, hey, that's probably a great guy. Isn't that what you would think? That's what I would think. That guy's probably fun to hang out with. We probably get along. Hey, look, there's a guy that loves his country. He must be having a good life because not only is he hanging out on the beach and he has the free time and the disposable income to do such frivolous things, but he's grateful for the country that provided him all these opportunities. Who sounds like they're full of hate? Who sounds like they're a hateful F right now? Me and you who see an American flag and we get proud and we just assume that's a great guy, or the guy who sees the flag and we're like, I'm tired of sharing a country with these racist white nationalist Fs. I'm sorry. I don't think we're the hateful ones here. Are you offended by the American flag? And look, I know you're probably not. But I'm broadcasting with a signal that could potentially reach 7 million people, and one of you has to agree with this guy, and that's the guy I want to call. I promise I'll be nice, but you need to explain to me how on earth you could possibly be offended by the American flag. And I'll listen to you. I'll give you a fair case. I'm not going to call you names or be mean to you or any of that. But if you're offended by the American flag, call in and make your case. I would love to hear it because I don't hear from you people. I don't even know any of you people. Even my liberal friends, probably more than half of my friends are liberal. They're not offended by the American flag. They don't go put one on their car or whatever. But man, I don't know these people, and that blows my mind. 800-288-9730. 9227. 800-288-9227. They're not offended by the Palestinian flag being flown on campus. Oh, no, that didn't bother them at all. From the river to the sea, right? But we're the hateful ones. Sure. 800-288-9227. This is The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Good luck, Mavericks, in the Western Conference Finals. News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on 93.3 FM.
For nearly 30 years, conservative Republican Frederick Frazier served in Texas law enforcement. Frazier was named one of America's top cops. He was appointed to President Trump's Law Enforcement Commission, and he's been endorsed by Governor Abbott. Frazier is helping Abbott build the wall to stop the flow of illegal aliens and drugs from pouring across our border. Securing the border, keeping Texas families safe. Conservative Republican Frederick Frazier is tough on illegal immigration.
Political ad paid for by Texas Defense PAC.
Texas has some of the highest volume of 18-wheelers in the nation. Big trucks can cause serious accidents that may result in serious injury or, sadly, even death. If you or a loved one has been in an accident with an 18-wheeler, call Thomas J. Henry. We handle serious 18-wheeler accidents and get serious results. Call Thomas J. Henry today. Available 24/7, nights and weekends.
Dallas, Fort Worth, and San Antonio, Texas.
If you're in or near retirement, you're facing two of the strongest headwinds American retirees have ever seen simultaneously: record high inflation and significant tax increases that have just been signed into law. Left unchecked, these two headwinds have the potential to ruin a retirement. At DFW Retirement Planners, they've been helping North Texas area families prepare for and successfully navigate past these two major retirement obstacles. If your plan for retirement isn't fortified to protect your nest egg from inflation and higher taxes, call today and schedule a complimentary consultation in their Dallas or Fort Worth offices or via online conference. Taking corrective action now is critical to protect your retirement nest egg. Call 888-7-PIGGY-BANK. That's 888-7-PIGGY-BANK. On the web, dfwretirementplanners.com. dfwretirementplanners.com. Serving North Texas for over 18 years. DFW Retirement Planners.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements. Changing the world one life at a time.
My name is Bob Corbin. I'm 55 years old, and I like to tackle life every single day. My life's never boring. I make sure of that, whether we're gardening, back at the pond fishing, running a tractor and moving dirt, playing rock and roll music. There's always something to do around here. I've been taking Balance of Nature for about 5 years. I feel absolutely phenomenal. Balance of Nature helps me feel better. It's just that simple.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order, plus $10 off any additional sets with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code DALLAS.
Got delays now on 635 westbound at Hillcrest. Even though the earlier crash cleared out of there, it is still rolling pretty slow through that stretch. I-45 southbound around I-20 still got a couple of left lanes blocked for road work. Also got activity now on I-30 eastbound at 2nd Avenue. It looks like that one's taking away that right lane. It's heavy back to Hampton Road. 75 northbound at Ridgeview, two left lanes are blocked. Still about a 20-minute backup to Ridgemont there. And you've got the issue on 360 southbound at I-20 in the two left lanes. That's heavy to Pioneer Parkway. From WBAP's First Traffic, I'm Monty Cook.
From the Airco AC Heating and Plumbing Studio, this is News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3.
Hey there, how's it going? Welcome to the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Look, let me go ahead and plant the seed for tomorrow's show. That sounds gross when I say that. There's certain things you can't say once you're like a middle-aged guy. It just sounds, plant the seed. Probably need to exit that from the lexicon. But in the Harrison Butker situation, that's the kicker from Kansas City that dared to say, women can find lifelong fulfillment being a homemaker. Oh my gosh. And so we had done the back and forth on that, just like everyone else had done last week. And I actually found someone to make the opposing case, and it's someone who's been on the show before. So Lacey G is going to be back on tomorrow to tell the other side of the Harrison Butker case. And look, Lacey G did a good job giving her side of the man versus bear debate that happened, 2 weeks ago? And so, look, there's not a whole lot of people that are willing to come on this radio station, because usually the people that disagree with this wouldn't dare come on anyway. It's just, oh, no, I wouldn't want to be seen dead on this. So that's coming up on tomorrow's show. What could be the other side of the Harrison Butker debate? Well, look, there's a lot of them. We'll get to it I think we're doing it at 3:30 tomorrow. All right, a couple other things I wanted to run by you here. Molly Hemingway, she was not on Team Trump to begin with, but she is a conservative, mostly writer. Most of what I've seen from her is her column, but then she's been appearing on TV quite a bit in the last decade or so, too. But she's a person who came around. She's a person who doubted Trump's authenticity, saw him as just a carnival barker. Maybe this is a guy who's just looking for the free publicity to expand his brand. But she was at least open-minded enough to admit that she now has changed her mind, evolved her thinking, seen what Trump has done in office, and now supports him again. And Molly Hemingway gets extra credit because you can't say that she's just a hack who likes everything that her party does. She was critical of the guy, and then she saw his actions, changed her mind. So when she goes out and she makes rants like this, I think you need to hear it.
Really are in a stunning moment in American history. We've never experienced anything like this before. This is something we usually associate with the Soviet Union or Venezuela or a third world country, where one political party is trying to imprison and bankrupt their top political opponent, keeping him off the ballot, putting him through show trials, all sorts of trumped up charges, all for political gain.
Right. And look, nothing shocking about that, but I wanted to play that from Molly Hemingway because it means more when people who used to be critics are able to say that, oh, this all looks like a kangaroo court. It's more powerful. Just like when you say nice things about Trump, it doesn't really matter as much as when Nicki Minaj refuses to endorse Joe Biden. Means different things to different people. You are not influential with giant swaths of the American public, precisely because you have your pre-existing beliefs and they have been trained to distrust you. As we can get more and more of these people who are in the center, which Molly Hemingway is definitely more of a centrist figure than a dedicated right-winger, it means something. Now, here is something I want you to watch for in the future. Whenever these trials are done, there's a chance that when he's found innocent, everyone is going to have the opportunity to reevaluate their position and not get criticized for it. And that's one of the good parts about it. For the people who's like, oh, I think Trump's guilty. Well, if it goes through the court of law and he's found to be not guilty, then there's a lot of people who will say, well, I thought he was guilty, but if the court of law doesn't find him guilty, then, I guess I got to relax. We're going to get to see who those people are and who those people aren't. At the beginning, in the beginning of the show, I was playing you some audio from Cori Bush. She's a congresswoman who named her new bill after Michael Brown. Now, a lot of people were on the fence about Michael Brown until they saw all the evidence, till they saw the court case, until they had the arguments from both sides presented. A jury of their peers reviewed it. They came out on side of the cop, and a lot of people rightfully changed their mind. Cori Bush did not. Cori Bush is still sticking with the lie, the narrative that hands up, don't shoot was a real thing. And there's a poor black kid who was just walking down the street minding his own business, and he was executed gangland style by a bloodthirsty, murderous, racist white cop. She did not change her mind. She did not have the ability to take in new information and adjust her worldview accordingly. We're about to get the chance to see how many people are willing to do that with Trump. And for all the people... Look, you can say bad things now. You can have a negative opinion. You can have a pessimistic outlook on how you think these trials are going to turn out, whatever. But period, point blank in the story, when these trials are done, and if he is found innocent and people still don't change their tune, this is going to be a great illustration of who the hacks are. Stick around. Coming up next, Mark Levin and then Chris Crock, and we'll be back to do this. In the meantime, you can catch more of The James Show. The podcast is on WBAP.com and the WBAP app. This has been The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
When selling my home, a quick sale and maximum profit were my two biggest goals. Mark Spain Real Estate sold my home for more than I expected, and it went under contract in just one day. Hi, I'm Ernie Brown, and that's what listener Taylor said about selling her home with Mark Spain Real Estate. The folks at Mark Spain Real Estate can sell your home for the most money, all while skipping the hassles that come with showings, open houses, and making costly repairs. Find out what the guaranteed offer would be on your home. There's no obligation. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
Dan Bongino here. Today I've got something special for all of you homeowners. Expo Home Improvements Bathroom Remodeling Services. Let me tell you, if you're looking to take your bathroom from drab to fab, Expo Home Improvement is a name you need to know in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Visit expohomeimprovement.com today. Picture this. You walk into your bathroom and instead of feeling underwhelmed, you're greeted by a space that's stylish, functional, and downright luxurious. That's the magic of Expo Home Improvement. Their team of experts knows how to turn your bathroom design dreams into reality, whether you're craving a modern makeover or a classic upgrade. And here's the best part. Expo Home Improvement handles everything for you from start to finish. No need to stress about coordinating contractors or dealing with delays. They've got you covered, so you can sit back, relax, and watch as your vision comes to life. With 20% off your entire project this month only, you'll want to check them out. Visit expohome.com today to schedule your consultation and take the first step towards the shower of your dreams. Trust me, you won't regret it. That's expohomeimprovement.com. Improving homes, transforming lives.
I knew this would happen the minute Freeman Toyota announced 0% financing for 60 months on new 2024 Tundras. We'd be setting sales records. Hello, this is Dane Miner, General Manager of Freeman Toyota. And if you want a lower truck payment, now's the time. You can get a new 2024 big Crewmax Tundra truck for just $449 a month, and we'll pay all the money for your trade-in. Come see us today at Freeman Toyota, 183 and 820. Or shop online at freemantoyota.com.
Call 866-227-6570 for details.
Joe Biden and Kamala Harris opened our border to the Mexican drug cartels and created the worst border crisis in American history. That's why Justin Holland helped secure billions of dollars to build the wall and fight back against illegal immigration. Conservative Republican Justin Holland also voted to empower Texas law enforcement officials to deport criminal illegal aliens, securing our border, keeping Texas families safe. Conservative Republican Justin Holland is on our side.
Political ad paid for by Texas Defense PAC.
Donate to Junk for Joy. Donate to Junk for Joy. Donate your car today to Junk for Joy. Donate to Junk for Joy. Donate to Junk for Joy. Donate your car today to Junk for Joy.
Donate your car today at junkforjoy.org. You'll get a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
Donate your car today to Junk for Joy.
Donate today and your car will be picked up by tomorrow.
It's official. Frederick Frazier just defeated his opponent's political witch hunt in court. A judge just dismissed the case brought by Frazier's desperate opponents. Like Trump, they couldn't beat Frazier at the ballot box, so they tried it through the courts and they failed. But we need your vote in the May 28th runoff election to finish the job. Frazier is a conservative Trump appointee endorsed by Governor Abbott because he prioritized border security, moved to finish the border wall, cut property taxes, banned the woke agenda, and stood strong for law enforcement. Frazier's in a fight against Carissa Richardson, a fake Republican, funded by a Beto O'Rourke mega donor and a disgraced Nazi sympathizer organization.